Attention, please. It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Mercy, know it so well. Could've wrote this from a cold cell. I'm praying on the floor of my hotel. Riding on the devil, taking no L's. They said don't do it cause it won't sell. Now look, we ain't taking no L's. God say gold and it won't fail. Now look, we ain't taking no L's. What did you think? I run dry when my supply is the king. I run high, deny and sign with the beast. I wouldn't ride or die for what I believe. Please, you might could try me and see. What you think I'd like for 500 G's? Nope. When I could get by until I...
Well, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all have had a great Monday. I know, unfortunately, it's the start of the week. But I figured, everybody, or at least most everybody's seen Melinda's live this morning. She was a little upset that Gail dropped a little video on them, and I find it quite ironic that Melinda, you started your live wanting to tell your side of your story. No one was going to tell your story. And what I found ironic about that, just months ago, you were trying to tell somebody else's story. Do you remember, Melinda? You was trying to tell lies. So, Gail, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I can't complain. I want to thank you for coming up and doing a review of this live with us. And I believe Seeper may hop on here with us a little later. I sent an invite out to him and talk with him. So it looks like we got quite a few people in here already with us wanting to see what's going on. So it looks like we've got, let me scroll back up here. Straight Shooter, Mustard Squirrel, and Blue Eyes. Hope all y'all are doing good. Miss Debbie Cox. Let's see here. We got Miss Kathy. HB Carolina, how's it going? So Miss Tony Michelle. Appreciate Gail and Tony and Mama Payday off in here watching the crowd for us. True Texan. Sean Daughtry. Country Bro, how are you doing? Miss Brenda Spencer. Melly Yellow. So yeah, we got Wayne Odom's off in here with us. Justice Roberts. Sunflower Dragon. Hope all of y'all are doing great. Mr. Sevens, how are you? Randy Day, another one of our great mods. So yeah, it looks like they're all coming in. We got several people off in the bushes watching. And we got Mr. Seeper over here joining us right now. Seeper, how are you?
What's up? What's up?
Not much. Now, I know Miss Gail Miss Gail has dropped out. Well, hopefully Gail will be back with us. I know, of course, Gail's seen the live. She was over there. Of course, now they've all got her blocked. That's how triggered she's got them. Gail is blocked over there in Johnny's stuff, and in Melinda's. She just triggers them as soon as they see her name. But were you able to see the live, Seeper?
Yeah, I watched some of it. I was catching up on both of them.
So all right, so you're pretty familiar with it. Like I said, I know Gail is. Now what I'm going to do tonight, folks, I'm going to put a banner up because we know how Johnny and Melinda are. They Johnny's still referring to himself now as Strike King Boss again. So if y'all are ready, are y'all ready to listen to this stuff?
Yeah, I am. Hi, Miss Gill.
Hey
Hello,
there.
everybody in chat.
Okay, so
I was out throwing walks at houses.
oh, Well, now, I hope you're using them cheek walks because, some of them walks can get expensive. That's the first time I'd ever heard that, too. I mean,
That was funny.
how messed up you got to be to say walks?
Same as Twirl.
Yeah, yeah. Well, apparently he was parked in front of a Chinese restaurant, and I mean, but now I've also got the video clip where he said that he told me personally I wasn't living inside of his empty head.
Whatever. We all live there rent free.
Yeah, I mean, when he admitted he had an empty head, though, I thought, I thought, well, that's perfect. Thank you, Johnny. And then he admitted the other night that he just couldn't satisfy his wife. Well,
Yeah, golly.
at least he's being honest about it. That's the first time I think we've heard him be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
And
here we
say
go.
that
Super bad, yeah.
I signed adoption papers.
No, wait a minute. That don't even sound like it's from the beginning. Okay, let me move this overlay and
Yeah, I think that
we're
was.
at. Yeah,
down there.
I cut to the point to where she starts talking about this, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I wanted to skip a bunch of crying.
Yeah, I rewatched it a couple times because there's a bunch of inconsistencies.
Yeah, I mean, the first part of her live was just blah, 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 blah. And the very end of her live, she's talking about her dogs and whatnot. So I just cut to the important part of this. Y'all know how some of her lives can be.
Now, let me remind you, I seen her this morning in AD's live, and all this woman kept saying, well, all they kept talking about was my two kids.
Her two kids. Now, let's remember, she's got more than two kids, but the two kids she's talking about are the ones that she no longer has.
My two youngest kids. That's all she could throw at me. That's all this woman could throw at me was my youngest kids. This woman is sad.
Now, before we really get going, folks, I'm going to go ahead and clarify this. We're not discussing kids. What we're talking about is what this woman is. We're talking about this woman's integrity, what kind of woman she is. Because I know some people are going to be, well, y'all were over there discussing kids. No, it's not the kids that we're discussing. It's what kind of person this woman is. Wouldn't y'all agree?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Keep in mind, she had just got done saying that I sleep with little boys again, just like her husband done. They keep calling me a pedo, but they're worrying about me reminding her that she signed her rights away to her kids. I feel like that's nowhere near as bad as what they're saying about me. Like, she literally, before I even said anything, had just got done saying that I sleep with little boys.
Right. And even in Johnny's live this afternoon, so Johnny made the statement that he never called her a pedo, which is bullshit because I was on a live one night and he turned around and called her a pedo. His idea of proof is other people saying that happened. He has no proof that ever happened. He can't prove that it happened. He never will be able to prove that happened. Because in order for that to happen, it literally would have had to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But he runs with that narrative.
Yeah, and he's done it many times.
We did it again today.
Yeah.
He was like saying that I groom underage boys. And I said, so you're calling me a pedo? And he's like, no. I said, well, I was in there under a fake name. Of course, now they're going to know it's me, but I don't care. But they're like, so I said, she grooms underage boys. I said, so you're calling her a pedo? That's the same thing.
Yeah.
And Johnny, let's remember now, what all has your ex-wife said about you? I mean, number one, she said you had more sugar in your tank than, I mean. So is that true? let's get back to Melinda here.
This woman is very miserable to be doing this. Let's continue.
Sometime on PM, and let's see what else was stinky, and I can't remember what all else was said to me this morning in 80s live.
Gail, baby, we know you're watching, honey.
Woman over there,
Just like we know Melinda's watching right now.
messing with Johnny and Melinda because why not?
Sad.
But that got me on a subject that's very
Now listen, her experience was not like mine.
Well, now that's the thing. No two cases are the same.
And things may be different down in Tennessee where she's from as to Kentucky where I'm from.
And this is not a joke video. Everyone knows I'm an adoptive mom. And this is, I'm gonna mention her name. This is Melinda signed her rights away to some of her kids. I don't even know how many, and I don't even care.
Obviously.
Now, Gail, you put your video out earlier, and you've discussed about adopting kids. Am I right?
Yes.
Now, that's not a quick process.
No, not at all.
And whether in Tennessee or Kentucky or Arizona, whatever state, folks, it's a lengthy process. If you want to adopt a child, it's rather lengthy. Now, there are parents that have signed their rights over to family members, and it can go by rather quick. And the reason I know this, like I've stated, my sister was from my mom's first marriage, and the judge told her father that it would be in the best interest if my father adopted her. He signed away all rights. But that's not
Well,
what
I think what can be a quick process or a quicker process is if you sign over like temporary rights and stuff.
Well, see, that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. So if you're just signing over custody, that's easy. That's like you said, temporary custody, that's a quick process. That's not hard. But when you're signing your rights away, that's the lengthy part of it. That is something that is a completely whole different legal issue, because you're making it where basically the parents didn't exist. Like, they never existed. They never birthed that kid. The birth certificate has to get changed. The social security number has to, I mean, it's so much legal documentation. And when you look up these kids, in the government's eyes, the parents never existed. The adoptive parents or the biological parents are the ones that had the kid. So it's more than just signing over temporary custody. You can do that without the parent being there. They can just write out a paper on a spiral notebook. But when you're taking parental rights away, it's as if the parents never existed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that has to go through a process through the court and all, like, not to give it away what's going on in the video, but you know how she said that she did it with a lawyer and all real quick. That don't work like that.
No, not at all.
So I mean, yeah, I think that's where she's getting everything confused. But let's see what else she's got to say. And
Obviously you do, because you're speaking on it and trying to
Gail, was that you on here or on the video?
I think it was a video.
Okay.
twist. And
So
let's listen.
I sat in court with my kids.
Hey, Chels.
And I won't give details about their adoption because it's not my story to tell, and it was not.
It's not her story to tell, but yet it's her story to get on here and say that I signed adoption papers. Okay, but now let me get back to my story. Whenever that man took me out on that bike.
Okay, now how the bike had anything to do with the adoption, I don't know, but she's fixing to go into this long, drawn out story, folks, and she veers away from the adoption. But go ahead and listen to her story.
They have speed bumps on your way back in to the projects. As he was driving slow, you know how whenever you ride on a crotch rocket, you lean on their back. Well, I was just literally setting up straight like this on the back because he was just going slow. Well, let me tell you what, he goosed it, and I didn't know if he'd done it on purpose or if he was just fucking around with me or what. But he goosed it, and I about come off the back of it. Like, I barely gripped his shirt in time, or I would have come off the back of it. I ignored that. We get back to his apartment. We go inside his apartment to put our helmets up in the closet. Well, he opened up the closet door, so therefore I was the first one to lay my helmet in. Well, whenever I stepped my foot inside this closet to lay the helmet on the bench inside there, he shoves me in this closet and shuts the door. I go straight into panic mode. I'd never been done this way. I start kicking the door, and I'm like, let me out. I mean, I was seriously panicking. He let me out. Well, I pushed him back, went on to my mom's apartment. I brushed it off. I ignored him that day. Well, he...
Now, I mean, I can understand why she would be getting upset during this. If everything is stating right now is true. But yeah, I mean, she had to tell this long, drawn out story just to get to answer a little bit of the other story. That
apologized, said he was just joking, and I didn't know how to take a joke. Okay, I let that go. Well, we ended up actually in a relationship together.
Now, here's my question, Melinda. If you knew that it was already going to be this way, if he was already showing signs of abuse, why stay? Why put yourself through that?
Well, this
Second question.
relationship she's talking about, she obviously was married to him.
Yeah, that's and then Melinda, in this story, you've never really discussed how much drugs were you on at this time? And the reason I'm asking you is because when you and Johnny came up on my channel when y'all was wanting to get back into Creek Squad, you talked about being on drugs an awful lot, real bad. So was this during this time?
And the reason I say that about them being married is because he carried his last name.
Oh, well.
Yeah, the Gayheart name.
Mm-hmm.
That's his last name.
Oh, so the Gayheart was a married, and that's not her maiden.
No, that's Jacob's last name.
Well, yeah, see, I didn't even think about that. So there we go. Yeah, she did mention her first husband. Yeah. Well, let's see what else is in this little story. Because folks, I got a feeling she tells this story again next year, it's going to be like Johnny's story. You're going to notice some differences.
He was good to Riley. He was so good to Riley. Riley was about 6 months old whenever Jake came into my life.
So wait a minute. So now there are signs of abuse, and yet you're still going to stay there with your child. Oh.
And this story gets sad, and but it was not ever a healthy relationship, ever. And a lot of y'all can judge me after I put this live out. I don't care. This is my story. This is what happened to me. I don't want somebody trying to tell my story for me. You didn't walk in my shoes, Gail. Therefore, you have no clue what happened. Okay.
And you have no idea what Gail's been through in her life.
I said
Time goes
absolutely
on.
nothing
We're
about
doing
that.
good.
Go ahead, Gail.
I said absolutely nothing about that. All I said was she signed her kids away. I mean, I don't even care. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful. If she went through all that, I hate that for her. A lot of women go through things like that, and it's absolutely horrible. But I didn't even say nothing about that. I didn't try to tell that. I wasn't even going to say anything about that because I didn't know anything about that. All I said was don't say that somebody stole your kids, because everybody that loses their kids or has their kids taken from them always has that same excuse. They took my kids or they stole my kids from me. It's always that excuse. Don't do that. Be real. I was a piece of shit. I was on drugs and I lost my kids. Be
Well,
real about it.
that's like Brandy said. If she lost them, why was it just her youngest? Why didn't she lose all of them?
Y'all,
Yeah.
it is so easy to get your kids back as a bio mom. As a bio mom, it is so easy to get your kids back, which is why I had to fight for 8 years. They will give them back to you. All you have to have is a job and a place to live. That's it. Pay your bills, have a job, and a place to live, which clearly she does. That's all you have to do. And there's no excuse. There is no. I have no respect for a female, and I'm gonna sound like sexist because I'm harder on women than I am on men. You carry that baby. I look at you different. I'm sorry if you lose your kid. I look at you different than I do a man. You carried that baby, and how do you lose your child? I can't wrap my mind around it. How do you lose your kid, first of all? But to not get them back, they give you that you only have to have 6 months of paying bills on time and keeping a job. 6 months. That's all you have to have. You can't do that?
There's women that's come out of prison that's been arrested for drugs or even things worse than that that's gotten their kids back.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's so easy for a bio mom. I don't care where you live in this country. It is so easy for a bio mom to get their kids back. There's no excuse. I went through juvenile court for 8 years. I've seen some of the shittiest women that walking in there, you could tell they can't take care of themselves and walk out of there with their kids. So there's no excuse. I'm sorry, no excuse.
I mean, like Claire said, you would have to kill her before you take her loved ones away from her. I mean, and that's the way most mothers feel. They're going to fight tooth and nail.
You do without for your kids. You just do. As a parent, you do without. If you don't have enough food for you and your kids eat. If you don't have enough money for clothes for all of y'all, then you wear the clothes you had last year and your kids get clothes that they need to fit, that because they've grown. You do without for your kids. And you make sure that their needs are met above yours. But I guess some people just aren't parents. It is what it is.
I mean, you don't wait until they turn 18 and think that you can make up for it then.
Yeah, and you don't say, well, they'll know one day. What, you're going to bash the one who raised them? You're going to bash the one who was there when they were sick, that put them through school, that bought everything they needed, their necessities? You're going to bash the one who put them to bed at night? You know, come on, the one who probably held them when they cried because you weren't there and they're wondering why you're not there? You're going to bash that person to them when they turn 18? What do you think they're going to say to you when you do that? You
Just
really
because
think that's how you're going to build a relationship with them? No. That's how you're going to never see them again.
you popped them out don't mean you're the one that raised them.
Like I said, he was good to Riley. Trees are just like his own. I ended up pregnant. I ended up moving. His mom ended up giving up her apartment and moving over to Boone's Camp, Williamsport, whatever. But she had a house over there. She owned it. So we went over there and lived with her. Out in the country, up a holler. Everything was Gucci. Everything was so good. Throughout my entire pregnancy, everything was so good. Like, the man treated me like gold. He was not mean to me. Like, everything was good. I had Jordan. Things went.
Now, Melinda, in this case, your best bet would have probably been calling them by, I had J or something like that. Probably not too wise putting out your offspring, 'cause I'm not going to say your child because you're not raising them, but putting out the kid's name. Just saying, that's not really wise. I mean, you're doxing a minor. I mean, I know you don't really care, but
Downhill extremely quick. Extremely quick. He stopped being good to Riley. And it wasn't just me and Jake that lived in the house with his mommy. It was his brother's wife and her 2 kids. Now, his brother was in jail at the time. I'm doing good, Random Country. I hope you're doing good. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to ignore you, but if I read the chat... No, I know I don't, Pat, but I want to tell my story. And if I cry, please just overlook it, okay? But I want to tell my story.
oh, they must have put something in chat real sad because, I mean, she started crying reading chat. Oh, I did not mean to push that. But anyways, things went downhill quick after I had Jordan. Now, there was another little baby that was the same age as Riley. That was my ex-sister-in-law's kid. And things that she was allowed to do, Riley wasn't allowed to do, and Jake would try to whoop her for it. Now, do you guys remember, I know they still have them, it's little plastic kid belts for little girls. Do you guys remember those? I guess she's talking about the little belts that come with the pants on some of the clothing.
Okay. Well, Random Country, he wanted to whoop her with one of those. Not happening. Not happening on my watch. It's not. Well, because I wouldn't allow him to whoop her, I got whooped. Or he tried to whoop me. Well, I would fight back. When he realized that I would fight back, he would just go straight and choke me out. Or wake up on the floor. I was with this.
Okay. Now, Melinda, I've got to ask you this then. If stuff like this took place, why did you continue to stay, especially with the children? I mean, because you're literally putting them in harm's way. Why would you do it?
This man for 4 years. I tried so hard to make it work. I remember Riley was 2 years old, or maybe a year and a half. Probably about a year and a half. I could say, Riley, go sit on the couch now. And and you know, to look back, it breaks my heart. Not Johnny, God, I've been with Johnny so long, but Jake's brother got out of jail. Well, his wife, he ended up getting her knocked up. She gets mad because me, Jake, and Sean had walked outside. Well, me and Sean was going to smoke a joint. Jake just went with us. Well, Nicole made the remark that she was going to leave and kill his bastard baby. When I tell you this man walked in that house and hit this woman, he absolutely shattered her jaw.
Okay. So right now, I mean, we've heard she's went through all kind of abuse, and I'm not making any fun of this whatsoever. I mean, domestic abuse it is nothing to make fun of. My thing, Melinda, is why continue to stay? You not only put yourself at harm, but take a chance at the children being at harm. And now we just heard that he made threats on not only you'll be around people that's making threats towards a mother carrying. Why? I mean, I can't see it. Do y'all have anything to add?
I'm just confused because she keeps saying that she's making this video because of me and my video, and all I was talking about is how parental rights are signed away and what you have to do in court. This has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Oh no, I mean it doesn't. And
I
folks,
mean, she's putting all of this on my shoulders, and I don't agree with women getting beaten. I don't agree with kids being in an abusive household. It's not good for them. It's not healthy. And she's putting her life story, if that's what happened to her, on my shoulders, and that is not what my video was about, and that's false, and that's ridiculous to try to put that on me. That's not okay.
well, and here's my thing, and this comes later on into this, but I'll go ahead and with all this abuse and all that, and somebody had already commented, but I've got to ask her, why does she think that they would only take 2 of the kids? At this point in time, all the kids would have been taken away.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Which if I was a female and I went through a story like she's telling, and I heard this right now, and I spotted all these inconsistencies, I'd be madder than hell.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is in this video is there's no definitive reasoning why her kids got taken. Like I don't, maybe I missed it, but because that's why I was gonna wait to get to it. But there's one part where they outrun the cops. She goes, lays in the bed. The cops come, and all of a sudden they take her kids. Well, they don't. Cops don't take your kids for running from the cops.
Yeah.
So there's something more. I mean, I guess if the kids were in the car when it happened or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I didn't get a definitive reasoning of why she signed whatever away to her kids.
Yeah. And it has to be in front of a judge. Like, you
Yeah.
can't just sign your rights away without a judge being there. A judge has to sign it. But it's just, oh my God, I don't know. It's not making any sense to me. I don't know. And I know abused women, and you have a whole nother a level of respect for women when you've been abused. And the way she talks to me, it's making me not believe she was abused, because you respect women a lot more when you've been through things and you look at them different and you don't want to hurt any female the way you've been hurt. And the things she says to me and the way she talks to me and the way her husband talks to me and that she agrees with it, it makes you look like you're not a very good person and you don't respect women. And I don't think anybody that's been abused would act that way toward women.
Let
That's just
me
my
ask
take
y'all
on it.
this. Yeah, I agree with you. Let me ask y'all this too. Did you catch this? And I'm not for sure about the first part, but didn't she say something about her dad and her mom about a closet situation? And then it was her and this guy in a closet
It, her father was abusive
to her
with
mom.
her mother, and I believe he choked her uh,
But
when
it was
Melinda
something
was
to do
younger.
yeah, but it was in a closet, right?
Right, right,
Yeah,
and
so that was my thing is so her mom and dad had the closet situation, and then now she's got a closet situation, and then later on we're going to hear in the video that her mom and dad he took her to a strip job, and then Melinda and this guy ended up at a strip job. So that's what's just real confusing to me is like how is so much stuff relating back and forth from your mom and dad to you and this guy?
kind of like I said, how Johnny's story, other people's stories became his story.
Yeah, and what she's doing, this is a classic example. Like I'm with Miss Gail. I dealt with it with my sister all my life of beating dudes up that would put their hands on my sister. I absolutely do not agree with any man putting their hands on a woman. It's horrible. Um, I think what she's doing in this video is she's trying to pull at heartstrings along with trying to tell a little bit of her story.
Hmm. Just like his last story.
Because it really don't have anything to do with Miss Gale's live that she did. She's questioning or talking about, not questioning her, but talking about signing rights away to a kid. And then she makes this whole spiel of, well, this domestic abuse and all this stuff. But that's to pull at your heartstrings.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all haven't seen Gail's video later on tonight, please go and watch it. It's 15 minutes. It's not very long. It goes by extremely quick. She talks about what happens. She's been in there many times to adopt. Talks about CPS and states even in other states that it's called different, other than Child Protective Services, but it's basically the same thing. She's not. It's not a verbal attack so much on Melinda as it is she's calling her. It's basically calling her out, saying she could have gotten her kids back by now.
I've only really, and that's what drives me insane. Johnny says all the time that I attack him all the time, and I don't. Have I made funny posts about him? Of course I have, because he's ridiculous. And that's all I'm gonna say. He's ridiculous because he is so ridiculous. But the only person I have really attacked on here is my sister. And I'm gonna say that one more time. My sister. Because I got tired of watching my nephew be attacked by his mother and nobody stand up for him. Nobody in my family, let me take that back. No one in my family was coming forward and standing up for him. I was blocked on everything that had to do with my sister. I was blocked on Instagram. I was blocked on Facebook. She had blocked my phone number on her phone. The only thing I could do was get on here and say what I had to say to her. So I did. And that video's still up. And she is the only person I have verbally attacked on here. I have not attacked him. I have not attacked his wife. The video I made today was saying, just don't lie and say you were tricked about signing papers because you're talking to somebody who spent 8 years in juvenile court. That's only with the 3 that I have now. That's not counting let's see, I've had 10 kids in my home besides my 4 biological. That's not counting the other 7 kids that I went through court with before the 3 that I adopted, because I've had 7 other kids live with me as well. So I went through court with them too. So I've been in the juvenile system ever since my oldest son, who is 30, will be 32 this year, ever since he was 9. I've been going through juvenile court. So you can't tell me anything about juvenile court that I don't know about. So don't get on here and say you were tricked, somebody stole your kids. You can't tell me that. So please don't get on here and spin that lie, because you're preaching to the choir when you talk to me. That's not okay. And that video was not attacking her. Just don't get on here and play sympathy to people when you're lying. Just don't do that. I don't like people that lie, especially when it comes to kids. You know, if you're going to sign your rights away to your kids, say you did it. Just say you did it. Just don't bash the person that's raising them, because that happens to me still today. I'm told that I even get messages on Facebook every now and then. You stole my kids. You know, I'll get a message, hey, can I send you some money for the kids? No, I don't want anything from you, because I went through a lot with these people. And as soon as I say, no, I don't want anything from you, well, you stole my babies. Sweetheart, that's your signature on those 50 pages in my closet where you didn't want to pay child support. All because you was going to pay $25 a month. It was $25 a month. That's all it took for them to sign their name on a paper. But they signed it, just like she signed it 8 to 10 times. Like I said, you know what you're doing when you sign those papers. So just don't lie to people. If you're going to get on here and you're going to make money off of people, at least be honest.
I mean, if you're going to do a channel about wanting to be positive and all that, then actually
be
come
real.
clean. Yeah, be
real.
Be honest to
Miss Gail,
yourself.
I want to give you a big shout out too for giving all the kids you have a happy, healthy home. That adoption process, I know, is not easy.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
no,
safe,
it's not. It was brutal. But you know what? My mom and dad took kids in when I was growing up, and so it was normal to me. Like, we had kids live with us. I don't know if y'all seen the song Ryan made, Dirty South, about the guy that killed his wife.
right?
Their daughter lived with us. The daughter of the mom that got killed. That's a true story.
Oh wow.
Yeah, their daughter lived with us, and their younger daughter lived with my brother's wife. So the older daughter lived with my family, and the younger daughter lived with my sister-in-law's family. So that's a true story. He really did kill his wife. He got away with it too. They never found her. So yeah. But my mom and them took kids in all the time and took people in all the time that didn't have nowhere to go. So it's normal to me. Um, it's just how we were raised, you know. And I took that on from my mom and dad, and I've had, you know, a lot of kids live with me, and I would still be doing it today, you know. But with these 3, I, you know, got the opportunity to adopt them, and I kept them, and here I am today.
And a big shout out to what was it? The kid's grandmother that took these kids in, because if not,
Yeah.
Johnny, just think they would have been in foster care like you were, and you know how much you hated foster care. You know, look at the damage it done to you, to your soul. That could have been the same thing that happened with these kids, because Melinda gave them up, didn't want to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, this lady's got them at the store with her, you know, buying things. You should be patting her on the back instead of being like causing a confrontation in front of the children. You should be patting her on the back. Thank you so much for doing what I'm not doing.
I mean,
I really appreciate you for doing what I didn't do.
Melinda's actually caused harm to these 2 kids, or could have, just as much as your parents did to you. But yet you're over there telling her, oh, it'll be okay. You can tell them your story when they get older, if they want to come around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's some other stuff in this video too I don't really understand. Is like, At one point, she leaves with Riley, but don't leave with her other kids. And there's one point where he goes to jail and she don't leave with her kids. You know, it's like some of that just don't. If things were as bad as they were, and you were, being beat up and all that stuff, as soon as I had an opportunity, I would leave with my kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can you pick one kid over the other? And I mean, that's what she's done her whole entire life. How can you pick a favorite and say the other two are just? I hate to say this, but it's like you treat them like garbage. You just tossed them out.
Yeah, and they were younger than Riley.
Yeah, you took two siblings away from Riley. Riley, I never know how it feels to have them two siblings with her. You took that away from her.
I popped that comment up there from Straight Shooter. She was just asking Miss Gail, did Skylar and Billy get to pack and play? It kept changing delivery dates.
Okay. Yeah,
I
and
haven't talked to her today. I'm not sure. I know she told me that she saw it was coming, and thank you so much. But I haven't talked to her today. I'll call her when we get off here, and I'll get her to shoot you a message. But I'll find out.
but yeah, you took that away from Riley. As much as you want to say that you done it for good intentions, I guess it's probably. I imagine you're telling her you took that away from her. Think about that when you lay your head down tonight.
You know, her daughter is absolutely beautiful. She is absolutely beautiful girl, and I really hope the best for her. And I hope that she well, look at Miss Gill's tat on her arm. Not what's Robert saying about my tattoo?
Well, look at Gail's tat on her arm, not merely as tatted on her arm. Get
I don't know what
Gail's.
that is. But anyway, I really hope her daughter gets to reconnect with her siblings and gets to have that bond with them. I hate that when siblings get split up. The three that I adopted there's 8 kids. There's 8 siblings counting my 3, so there's 5 more. And they're in 3 are in South Carolina and one's in Nashville and one's actually in Dixon. And I do talk to her from time to time. She's a really good girl, and but she's older, and she's like, I feel so bad for not talking with him, but I have my whole own life, you know what I mean? And she feels guilty, but she has nothing to feel guilty for because the situation she's in is not her fault. You know, it's so sad that that's what they do to these kids, is they get split up and then they have their own life, and then it's really hard to make that connection once it's all said and done. You know, they've got their own family, their own life, their own parents, and it's just hard to reconnect after that. And it's not their fault, and they shouldn't feel guilty about it.
I mean, poor Riley's been done wrong anyhow. I mean, look, she's already had taken money away from her that shouldn't have been, so they could have a car. I mean, and there's other things. Yeah, they're definitely never going to win a Parent of the Year award.
Yeah.
But let's
Yeah,
see
the
what.
sibling thing's hard because my parent and all of her siblings, when they grew up, they were put in orphanages and all separated, and they had to reunite later in life, and it's hard on them.
Yeah. It's just sad for the kids. And like I said, you know, her daughter's absolutely beautiful, and she seems just like this sweet little girl, and getting a rough start that, you know, she's had, because I know she hasn't been with her the whole time from what Melinda says. It's just, it's really sad. It's, you know, I hate it, and I hope that um, she ends up being strong and can, you know, make the right decisions for her life better than, you know, what she's had. So,
She's definitely got to be a strong individual, like Miss Beehive said, with all the embarrassment that she has to put up with both parents and everything that has happened throughout her life. because of them. So let's get back into it. And
I was terrified to leave. Like, absolutely terrified. Jake, whenever me and him would get into it, he would take the cell phone. And this was back whenever the batteries were in the back of the cell phones. He would go and take my battery out of my phone and then bring my phone back in the bedroom after locking me in there. And be like, yeah, now call somebody. Took every house phone, computer, any way of communication. Well, it got so bad that I had to grab Riley up because he wouldn't let me have Jordan, and I had to run all the way to the end of the holler to the next house and call the law. It took the law 45 minutes to get to me. By the time they got there, you couldn't tell I even had a kid. Everything in that house that belonged to Jordan was not in there. It took me almost 2 months to even lay eyes on him again. I didn't know where they went. Well, I called Jake's cell phone when the law finally got there. And I told the law that his...
Yankees for life, how's it going?
Okay, so see that's the part right there that I didn't understand earlier is he took Riley but left Jordan there.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently she just ran out, for this long run up the holler or down the holler and to get to another house. And
Also, she didn't grab Riley.
no, but apparently in 45 minutes, in order the time it took for the cops to get there, apparently, I guess he just emptied the house out of everything that belonged to the kids and all.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. Because she talks about just Jordan. Because I thought I heard her say at one time that she just took Riley. I don't know. This whole thing's confusing to me.
Well,
Mom had to have been the one to drive him out of there because Nicole was gone. That was my sister-in-law. Jake was gone. My baby was gone. His mommy was gone. I mean, everybody was gone. So the law told Jake to put his mommy on the phone. Well, he did, and he said, you have to bring them back. And the first thing that came out of her mouth is, I want her out of my house. He said, technically, I can put you out for 30 days out of your own home because she is a tenant here. And I said, I wouldn't live here. You couldn't pay me to stay here. But she had took him to Ohio. I ended up moving to Ohio. It wasn't the plan, no. But once I got there, I thought that if I made it work, maybe I could get away with Jordan.
now, how did she not see them leave? I mean, because if the next house is so far away from the way she described, and apparently they left in his mom's automobile with everything and apparently every freaking body, good chance they're going to ride right by her. How did she not see them leave? And how in the heck do they pack everything up so quick?
That was the biggest mistake I'd ever made. His nanny had a trailer across the field from her house that she let us live in. This man got mad one night. We were on our way home. And he got mad because his radio wouldn't work. Well, the law got behind us and blue lighted us.
Okay, so now they're in Ohio. He's mad because the radio doesn't work, and the cops are behind him, blue lighting him.
Well, he outran the law that night.
Do what?
This is what, yeah, this is what's confusing to me right here.
Okay.
We made it home. He said, go jump in the bed. So I went and jumped in the bed, covered up. Next thing you know, the law's kicking our door in. And, he ends up going to jail that night. And that's whenever I should have left. But I didn't. Well, he ends up getting out of jail. His nanny goes and gets him. A few days pass, and let me tell you, whenever he didn't have a pain pill, look out, because you were his target. You were the closest thing to him for him to take shit out on. So, his mama used to get Xanaxes. Well, he ended up being mad one day. Made me eat a handful of them. Didn't have a choice. He shoved them down my fucking throat. His nanny ended up taking me to the ER.
So he shoves a handful of the pills that he loves so dearly down your throat.
Okay, so yeah, this is where I was confused and lost at, because I was thinking it was that night that they got took. This is leading up to why.
Yeah, this.
And telling them that his grandson was trying to OD me. I ended up making it back to his nanny's house. Days had passed. We ended up into it again. I had Jordan in my arms. And I melted to the floor because he choked me again.
Okay. Number one, you stayed with him after he tried, as you said, ODing you. A couple days later, you just said that you knelt to the floor because he was choking you. Now, if you're knelt to the floor, you're facing down, your head is down almost between your knees, is the way I'm picturing it. How's he choking you at that point?
Well, his nanny threatened to shoot him. She said, I shot my own son over the same things, and I will shoot you. Well, he let go of me. My best friend at the time came and got me. Well, he ends up coming back to Kentucky. I ended up pregnant with Ashley.
Well, there she doxes the other minor's name. Now, if these two kids were in her household, she wouldn't be doing this. But yet, she has nothing to do with these kids, so she just throws their names out there like, yesterday's garbage.
And that was not meant. He ended up, I didn't want no more after I had Jordan. I only wanted 2 kids, but he basically made me have sex with him one night. Held me down and made me. So it is what it is. It happened. I got pregnant.
And so you just
I
gave
ended
up
up
more
having
kids.
Ashley. Me and him end up in a fight. Law shows up. CPS end up involved. They want to remove the kids. Riley ends up going to my mom. I signed temporary custody papers over to my mom.
Okay, so right now she's saying she signed temporary custody papers over to her mom.
And I've done the same with your Jordan and Ashley with Legina. Now, Gail, let me tell you something. I read them papers. I know what I signed. Now, if I'd have signed adoption papers, I wouldn't have Riley right now. So make that add up, Gail, okay? Not even.
All right, so pause it right there. So this is my thing. She says she signed or if she whatever the adoption papers, she wouldn't have Riley right now. So this is the thing that stands out to me is so whatever happened with the other kids that belong to Jake and to her mother-in-law on that side, and so because those were Jake's kids, and Riley was whoever the other daddy is, but she signed that over to her mama. So it would be a lot easier for you to get your kid back from your mama than it would be to get your kids back from your mother-in-law. I mean, not to say that not to say that it's still going to be hard, but I think it would just. I mean, your parents are going to help you real fast to be able to get your kid back. So that's why I think she didn't lose Riley, because her mom probably enabled her whatever way to get her kids back, to where her mother-in-law is like, no, I don't want some obviously piece of shit taking care of these kids.
Yeah. How many baby daddies she got? Gosh, she's starting to sound like Dana, being with all these
Yeah,
men.
so those two right there are from Jake, and then Riley's from another guy.
So biological parents don't sign adoption papers. That makes her sound even more stupid. So biological parents sign their rights away. That's one court date, okay? Adoption, the court date for adoption, biological parents are not even there. They're not even there. That happens after parental rights are terminated. Because so I had a court date. Well, I call it a court date, but it really, there was nobody in the courtroom but me, the judge, my attorney, and the biological parents. That we sat at the table inside the courtroom, where the lawyers usually sit, and they signed the papers to terminate rights. After that was done, my attorney got the papers. We finalized everything. The judge signed everything. After that was done, my lawyer started with the adoption proceedings. That didn't happen till like 3 months after. So after the rights were terminated, all the paperwork went through the state, the adoption was after, and the bio parents aren't even there. They don't have to sign anything for adoption. The only person that does anything is me, my attorney, and the judge. So her saying she didn't know she signed adoption papers, you don't sign adoption papers as a bio parent. That has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, there's just too many holes in her story.
And Nothing But a Thing said that her mother might still have custody of Riley. I mean, the lady does live next door, and she's there almost every night having dinner. So,
Yeah.
does her mom have custody of Riley, or does Melinda?
Yeah.
Maybe
She
that's
might.
why. Maybe that's why they're living right next door to her mom.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. It's just sad.
Not even.
It's sad. It's sad for the kids. It's all sad.
Yeah. The whole story, I mean, if she was abused, that's sad. If she wasn't and she's using it, that's even sadder. The idea that two young kids aren't with their sibling and could be, that's the really sad thing. I mean, when you've got two innocent, actually three innocent kids tied up in this, because like we've stated, Riley's innocent in all this, and she's got two siblings that she don't even get to see. That's extremely sad. You know, somebody asked how many times her Cash App got hit during the story. There's probably no telling. I'm sure they'd probably made something off their Cash App on it.
You know, I talk too much, but I don't know a lot of women that have been abused or been through situations like that just want to get online and talk about it or want to talk about it, period. I mean, I don't know. Usually when women are abused or their kids have been abused, they just don't talk about it freely. They don't really want anybody to know.
Yeah. I mean,
So I just to get on there and cry and put it out there and say things like that and then be like, there you go, Gail, like, no, like it's a badge of honor. No.
yeah, I've seen an occasional channel here and there that's what they base their channel on, is to give women things to look for. But other than that, no. I mean, she's wearing it like she does some of these new tattoos, you know, and it's Melinda, you got to know that you putting it out there, people are going to listen to it. Some people are going to review the live, and there's going to be, you know, some things are going to be questioned because there are gaps in the story.
Even a month after I signed them temporary custody papers, I get a letter in the mail saying that Legina had adoption papers. I, honest to God, on my life, think that she paid that lawyer.
Well, Melinda, when people get a lawyer, that's what they do. They pay them. You know, when you went to sign the paperwork, were you messed up or was you clean? Did you literally read the paperwork, or did you just go in there and sign it like some people do a car and don't realize they're paying 28% interest rate?
See, this is something I don't understand either, and Miss Gail probably can touch on it, is you know, she says when I signed the temporary rights paper away, and then a few weeks later come the adoption papers. Like, it just don't happen that fast. And I mean, he can't be gotten for an abandonment because I don't think it could happen that fast. So it's like something just ain't. This turkey ain't jiving.
None of it happens that fast. And she would not legally be allowed to have a copy of the adoption paper. It wouldn't go to her. Her name would be nowhere on there. I have my adoption papers, and the only names on there is mine, my husband, and the kids. They did not mail the bio parents a copy of my adoption. Why would they do that? That's not legally their papers. That's my papers. Like, that's
Right.
my papers for my kids. If they mailed it to them, I would have thrown a fit because that's my court papers. That is private. Like, it's not, that would not be hers. If it was adoption papers that the mother-in-law had for her grandchildren because she adopted them and they mailed it to her, somebody's ass would be in trouble.
Yeah, and I know because I've got one of my old business partners that I let partner up with me and tried to help him out. He was an adopted kid, and his adopted parents, once he got adopted, because they both got got in a car wreck and it killed them. And so, you know, their whole estate and all was getting split up between the kids and all. But he had just as much rights and was just as much of a kid to that family as the biological kids.
Yeah. Seeper, my kids' birth certificates. So when you adopt them, the state mails out new birth certificates. The biological mom on there is me, and the biological dad on there is my husband. Their old birth certificate from where they were like born is non-existent. The state
Yeah.
destroyed all those records.
Yeah, and see,
They're
that can't
not there
happen
anymore.
fast.
No, it doesn't. It took me like 3 months to get the birth certificate. I had to go to Social Security office to change their name on their Social Security card, and had to take all these papers down there to do that. That was a lengthy process, and to change their name. It was like it took a year to get all that done. It's not easy. Like I said, juvenile court is set up for biological parents. Once the rights are terminated, you're looking at a year to get all the paperwork done. It's not easy.
Yeah, there's some stuff. There's something missing in this story.
And with all this abuse that she talks about, surely to God, there's been some reports. I would like to see some police reports.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this. From today, I have looked up some information, and I can't find any. I can't
Well,
find
CPS
any.
files are private. You can't look
Well,
those up.
no, I mean like abuse from Jake, like between her
Oh,
and him.
yeah.
I haven't found any charges or anything on him like that.
Oh, and
Now,
domestic would be there.
yeah, and I'm not
Yeah,
saying it didn't happen, but now we've heard in some of
yeah,
her stories that the cops, were called. So,
yeah. And I
uh,
mean, I didn't dig much. Like I said, I'm gonna say I didn't dig. I just looked up because I looked up the case of where he died, and just looked up some of the stuff with him, and I don't see anything. So I'm like you. I'm not saying it didn't happen, um, but I don't see any domestic cases.
well, straight shooter. Yeah, the reason she's not putting all them kids' names on there, she don't want a constant reminder of what kind of person she is. Yeah, because then it's going to show what kind of black heart she's got instead of being a gray heart. Used to being a gray heart. Yeah, because now Merle, I mean, you and Johnny know receipts, and that's going to be brought up. But yeah, we'll get back to some of the story because I think y'all are going to be interested in the latter part as well. Okay, Merle, speak up. Can't hear you.
But let's listen to her.
When you sign your rights away, it's not a quick process.
Kentucky's not the same.
I don't know if anybody's been to juvenile court. If you haven't, oh my God, I hope you never go to juvenile court because it is the most heartbreaking experience I've ever had in my life. Every time I had to go to court, and I had to go to court so many times, I would cry, I would throw up all the way there. I'd call my mom, and I would be terrified every time I went because it's so up in the air. Juvenile court is set up for parents. It's so easy. Guys, it is so easy for parents to get their kids back, especially moms. CPS, which is Children Protective Services, they call it different things in different states, but it's all Children Protective Services. It's set up for parents. It's not set up for kids. It's called Child Protective Services, but it's not about the kids. It's about the parents. And it is set up to reunification. That's their main goal, reunification. And hey, I am all for that if it's what's best for the kids. That's what it's supposed to be, the best interest of the kids. Which is why they assign guardian ad litem, which is an attorney for the best interest of the child. But a lot of times it doesn't work out that way. A lot of times it's not what's best for the kid. It's just saving the state money and giving the kid back to the parent. But a parent only has to have a stable job, a home, and bills that they pay regular to get their kid back. Visitation is allowed unless something bad happens, and then it's supervised visits, but visitation is allowed, and they only have to have a stable home. If the kids have been taken out of the home, they only have to have a stable home for 6 months to get their kids back.
I'm going to cut to the end right here. Because Tennessee is completely different than Kentucky. None of this shit she said, I never once went to court. I went to a lawyer's office with my mother. I went to a lawyer's office with my mother-in-law. The lawyer drawed up temporary custody papers at both offices.
Gail, you want to explain to her on that or touch base on that?
So didn't she say that they were taking her kids out of her home?
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't she say that?
Yep, that's what I thought.
So if they were taking her kids, that means CPS is involved. That means you can't just go to a lawyer and sign away. That means there has to be a safety placement, which is what I was. And I don't care what state you're in. You can sign temporary custody over to a family member, but CPS would have to be there. And
That's what I thought.
yeah, because they have to know, and they would have to do a home study, and they would have to meet with the people that are getting the kids, because that's what they had to do with me. They had to come to my home, and they checked in on the kids several times. Even though you do it with a family member, because I had family members that I kept, it doesn't matter. You're still a temporary custody family, but since they were going to take them, you still have to do the home study. You still have to be checked on. So you can't just go to a lawyer and be like, well, I'm going to get out of all this, so I'm going to sign them over to this person. No, it doesn't work that way, because your kids were about to get taken. All they do is, when CPS gets involved, they're like, do you have anybody that can take your kids? And you can call a family member to see if they'll take them, because they don't want to put them in foster care. It costs them money. So of course they want to find a family member first. So if they find a family member, the family member still has to prove that they have somewhere to put these kids safe.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Wouldn't it be CPS that would be doing the paperwork for the temporary placement?
Yes, it is.
And not a lawyer?
And I still have all those papers too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And I'm sorry, Kentucky's not a whole different world. It's right in our backyard. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the judicial system between the two are almost a Xerox copy.
I'm sure there may be a couple different things, in each state, but you still, the legality of it all is not going to be that much different.
Yeah. And Merle, you probably didn't get him back right off, because like HP just said, look at the stories you've told of during that time you and Johnny first got together. Look at all the drug uses and where y'all were at.
This is my other thing too, is like when she says she signed away temporary whatever, and then the mother-in-law a couple weeks later hit her with adoption papers. Well, let me tell you this. I'm gonna fight from here to hell and back to not give up my kids, to adopt my kids, for somebody to force me into adopting my kids out. So what happened there? I mean, like why would you just, if that was the case, why would you just roll over and let the mother-in-law adopt your kids?
And they're not just going to let you walk away. Even if you sign over temporary custody, CPS is there, right? So they draw up this parenting plan, which is what they used to call it. I don't know what they call it now, but it was a parenting plan. So you would have to do parenting classes. And if it's over drugs, you would have to do drug classes or whatever they wanted you to do. If it's anger problems, you'd have to do anger management. Whatever hoops they wanted you to jump through would be in that parenting plan. And they would set up the visitation at that time, and you would have to sign off on that. You would have to sign it, and so would the person who would be taking your kids as the temporary placement. And that would be reevaluated after so long. You know, they'll give you so long to get the classes done or whatever it is you have to do, and then it would be reevaluated in court. So it's not like, well, I'm going to sign my kids over to you and I'm just going to walk away. It doesn't work that way. They set up a plan for you to get your kids back because, like I said, CPS is a reunification center, is basically what it is. They want to get the kids back into the home with the parents. So they're not going to let you just be like, hey, I'm going to give my mom this kid and I'm just going to walk away. No, that's not going to happen because they've already came into your home and they're like, hey, I'm taking your kids. Now, what do we have to do to get you straightened up to get your kids back? Let's make a plan. And then after they do that, they expect you to work that plan. You don't get to just walk away. It doesn't work like that. I mean, eventually you do if you lose your rights, but in the beginning, you don't get to just walk away.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I mean, when you're with somebody that's unwilling to work and doing some of the things he's done or doing, that's probably not going to help your case at all. Not when you're wanting to get your children back, if you ever tried. I mean, and I'm not saying that just because I don't like Johnny. I'm saying that as a parent to another parent.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like it's more of a willingly thing because I'm not going to be willing to give up my kids.
Not
Oh,
for
no.
nobody or
Mm-mm.
anything.
No.
No, so there's something else in this story that's missing. I mean,
Yeah.
either I don't know exactly what it is, but I just don't like why would you lay over and just willingly allow somebody to adopt your kids? Why wouldn't you fight and change? Like I personally think it was a lot of drug stuff. I don't know. It's just weird. There's a lot to this case.
Yeah, it's just not adding up. And then to be like, well, one day when they get older, no, no.
When somebody else has already put in all the work, you
Yeah.
want to take, say, oh well, yeah, I was your mother. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I know what I read. I know what I signed.
I don't think she does. I think she was so messed up that she's had this long time period since it took place, and she's dreamed all this up now.
Anyways, I ended up getting them adoption papers. I ended up reaching out to Jake. I even tried getting back with Jake. And this was after me and Johnny had met. I left Johnny because I wanted my kids in my life. So if that's what it took was for me to be with somebody like that, I was going to. And the guy that my mom worked for on Route 3, I'm going to call him Bob. That ain't his name, but I'm going to call him Bob. I went in there to see my mom. And I had bruises everywhere. He said, Melinda, you're going to end up dead. And that's seriously what it was coming down to. And I knew that. I felt that. But I was willing to make it work to see my kids. So me and him went to Indiana. Decided to move up there with my family, my mom's side of the family, to try to mend our relationship to see if we could better it. I think I was there not even a week, and I couldn't even stomach to look at him. He turned my love that I had for him to hate so bad. I couldn't stay with him. So my uncle took him to his uncle's. And
She must have had a hell of a lot of love to put up with all that. And I mean, we're talking the so-called abuse that she's told, the losing the kids and all that.
Hey, let me address that comment real quick. Hey, GTS TV, do you have proof of that, or is that just something you're saying? That's probably Grind to Shine TV, ain't it?
I believe it is. Hold on, I will double check and see.
It probably is because I seen him talking to Jerry. Jerry too. Also, man, Wade's email is on his profile. Send him an email, and we can always do a panel with you.
So yes, it is.
Yeah, I figured it were. I mean, I'd be interested, G2S, if you've got to. Okay, he said contact me. I can tell you where it came from. And okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll reach out to you. I'd be interested in hear about that. All right, sorry about that, Wade.
Oh, that's fine.
they brought him back to Kentucky. It took me 3 days to get back to Kentucky because my mommy had to come and get me. She broke down on the way to get me. I get all these messages. I think it was MySpace then. I don't even think it was Facebook. I don't even know. I can't remember if it was Facebook or MySpace, but I was getting flooded with messages. Have you seen Jake? I said no, and I don't care. I don't care what happens to him. I want him out of my life. I don't care. Well, if I had not been posting like a timeline on my
Will you
way
pause
back
that for a
from
second, Wade?
Yeah.
So I pulled it up. Jerry says he wanted to come on panel. It's the whole adoption process in his life and what he went through. So maybe after we get done with this, if you want, you can bring him up, or we can do it tomorrow night or something.
Yeah, let's see about maybe setting something up for tomorrow night.
Yeah, because I think there's a bunch of people going live tonight.
Yeah.
Jerry, just email Wade or Instagram him if you got him on Instagram, and we'll do a thing for you tomorrow night so you can tell your story. He says it's long for sure, but it makes sense. Yeah, let's do it tomorrow if you can.
Yeah, just hit me up, like I said, on IG, or you can hit me up on the email that's attached to my About page on my YouTube. All right, let's get to this last little point here because yeah, we are cutting time.
Indiana with my mom, because when I got back, I went back to Johnny, and next thing you know, I had the state police knocking at my door, and they made everybody in Johnny's mom's house leave, made them leave their own home. Sure did. Said, I need you guys to leave.
Merle done got in some trouble.
Everyone but Melinda. Well, my heart dropped to the floor, and they set a recorder down on the coffee table and pushed play on it and told me that if I lied, I was going to jail.
CLD, how are you?
Asked me why I said what I said. I said, about what? He said, why did you say you didn't care if the man died? I said, because I don't.
Oh, darn. She already wishing death on people. Now we kind of know where her husband gets it.
And at the time, that's how I felt. I had so much hurt, so much anger. And he said, why? I said, you get put through what I got put through. I told Riley she could go outside one day and jump on the trampoline with her brother. She starts out the flipping door, and I had her bedroom window opened, and the trampoline was just like 30 feet from our bedroom window. And Jake hollered and told her to get back in the house. Well, I hollered and I said, I told her she could come out and play. I didn't even get turned around, and this man was on top of me with a gun to my head. And when I tell you, all his mommy did was shut the door until Riley come through my bedroom door. Then she come and took the gun from him. Did she get him off from me? No.
Jerry, his email's on his about page on YouTube.
Yeah. So Riley, which is fixing to have a birthday, if not, or just had a birthday, to where she, I think, legally drive or so, but took a gun away from this grown man, which is, I'm gonna say, got some strength behind him. You know, we've heard about the abuse. This,
Well, I think it was the mama, she said, that took the gun away, wasn't it?
well, now, okay, and it may have been. I may have just totally misunderstood the whole thing. I thought she said Riley had come through the bedroom.
Yeah, I think Riley came through the door, and then she said that the boy's mom came in and took the
Oh,
gun
okay.
away.
Yeah, because I was fixing to say, wait a minute, how did? Okay, so that makes a little more sense. Maybe I should. I was gonna say because
Don't feel bad.
She
I'm
did
lost
not.
in this whole story too.
yeah, well, I mean, and the next time she tells this, it may be Riley taking the gun away. You know,
Could
thinking it's one of her
be.
toys. Who knows?
And Riley remembers it to this day, and I'm thankful that this is the only memory that she remembers out of all of it. Was that he choked me so hard my neck was pouring the blood. Now he did take me out of there that day, and Riley told me he was taking me to my mom's. Did he? Nope. Took me on a strip job. So this took me back to what my dad did to my mom. He gets me up there.
Okay, I want to stop this real quick. Matthew, no, we're not talking about the children. We're talking about what went on and showing Merle's integrity and all, what kind of, she's really got. So get with the program there, little buddy. We know you're not really of value, but I just wanted to point that out to you.
This is another thing that I wanted to say too, where she says, and again, uh, Melinda, if you actually were abused and stuff, I'm very sorry that you had to deal with that. But another thing I'm confused about, she said that he was choking me and I was bleeding.
Through the
That's what
throat.
she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was bleeding from the throat because he was choking me. Well, I've never seen that.
No. I mean, there may be a little scratch and there may be, some drops of blood or something like that, but not the way she's talking. I mean, yeah. Shit. I don't know. She's off on her own little hive of the story. I mean, she's definitely thinking that this story is going to give her nothing but sympathy pouring in, and don't think it really worked for you, Melinda. Had it been a story of truth and not, but you've got way too many holes in this story.
We were in a van. Riley was in the back in her car seat. Well, he gets up there, gets out, and just starts walking around the vehicle. All I could do was pray that he just got back in and took me and dropped me off to my mom. Thankfully, that's what he did. But anyways, the state police said that he was missing. Well, I told the state police that story that I just told you guys, and I said, how would you feel? I said, I went through that for 4 years. Well, they ended up leaving. Well, I ended up getting a phone call and a message on Facebook from a lady, I don't even remember her name, but her husband found Jake in the Big Sandy River in Catlettsburg at the barges.
Kind of ironic. She wished him dead, and he ends up dead. Talking about karma. I would hate to know that one of the last few things I mentioned somebody's name on was wishing them.
Now, the county attorney called me and told me that they found Jake's body, that a married woman come forward and turned over state evidence on her husband and on herself, and he asked if I could come in and meet with him. And I did. And they offered her 15 years. They offered him 23. Regardless of what the man put me through, he did not deserve to die the way he did. And that wasn't enough time for me. Regardless of what he did to me, they didn't get enough time to me. So I said, no, I want to push it. And I'm going to tell you the story of what the prosecuting attorney told me that the woman come forward and said. Now, let me grab me some toilet paper before.
Surprised she didn't have all this ready, considering she knew. Oh, well, now we know why.
Now, he said that woman come forward and said that Jake had a bunch of old pannas that he was trying to get rid of.
Get motivated.
Okay, I think that was the end of my recording. I think it had.
But anyways, he
Oh,
had
no,
a bunch
there
of
it
old
goes.
pannas that he was trying to get rid of. And thank you, skincare girls. So they went to go meet him because they told him that they could get rid of him for him. Well, I guess he gets in the car. He gets in the passenger side front seat. The girl is driving. She said that her husband was hid down in the back seat. This was after dark. She said that her husband come up over the seat with some kind of cables and tried to put around Jake's neck. They said that she said that Jake fought out of that. And they ended up outside the car at Goble Roberts Bridge. She said that they ended up down next to the river. And this is her story, not mine. She said that Jake fell and hit his head. It had been raining when this happened. The river was up. Well, they had took his boot off, thinking that the pills was inside his boot. And they wasn't. They recovered the pills out of this man's pocket 13 days later after being in the river. Not dissolved. They were not dissolved. But they just left the man. And where the river was up, it carried him downstream. But the man floated 13 days in the river. And this lady reached out to me, and I'll never forget it. And she was so sincere because it was her husband that found his body. The man couldn't have I made his funeral arrangements the day he turned 21. I didn't have to let his mommy be involved, but I did. It was the right thing to do. In my heart, Was I terrified to go to the gravesite? Did an officer go with me? Yes. Did I shake every step of the way? Yes, I did. His body was so decayed from being in the river and being nibbled on by fish that he, like I said, he couldn't even have a viewing. We had to put him straight into the ground.
Well, Merle, I don't think I ought to wish death on anybody. I mean,
This is another thing that's kind of weird with this situation too, is because I know she says that a guy or somebody reached out to her over that situation, um, with the lady's wife or whatever, her husband. But if you look up all the case information and all, which is not a big deal, but it was the coal dock workers that actually found the guy.
yeah, and to think that they're going to come in like that, question her there at the house like that, just over a little statement. I mean, and Melinda, when did you have time to meet Johnny? I mean, so because she mentioned she went from him to Johnny. She'd already been with Johnny, and then left Johnny to go back to try to get back with him because she's wanting to get the kids back. Um, so apparently, her and Johnny had already had something cooking. You know, did you know about this drug deal that was going down? Have you been? Did you go out on drug deals with them?
Well, I do know from the day that it happened, anybody can look the case up, but there's a whole lot of stuff that that has said it leads up to foul play, and then a drug deal.
Well, I mean, if you're going to rob somebody, you're not going to hide behind the back seat and jump out with a cable to go around the neck. That right there, you've got plans on killing somebody using a
Well,
cable.
the other thing too was the reports show that he was killed in Floyd County,
Hmm.
which is basically it's saying that he was killed in a different area than where he was dumped.
Well, and apparently, I mean, why would you just search one area if you're going to rob somebody? If you're going to rob somebody, you're going to search head to toe, whether you're looking for money, drugs, whatever. Sounds like they just
Yeah,
wanted to.
I haven't seen anything in the reports. Like I said, I haven't looked a lot. I just did some preliminary stuff on it, just so I'd have some context on it. But I haven't seen any reports of any drugs recovered.
Well, I mean, now Jerry Will said that's the Ashland, Kentucky area.
Yeah, all I know is Floyd County.
Now, do we know the time frame of these events? Little Mama Payday was asking.
Give me 1 second, and I'll give it to you.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, and something else. Just I'm sure the cops asked her, but Merle, did you know this couple? Did you ever have any run-ins with them or anything?
I was wondering the same thing. For
Yeah,
them to reach out to her, they had to have her number, right?
yeah. I mean, so it's just a I've watched a lot of investigative reports and stuff like that. I mean, I mean, because you've talked awful lot of abuse. Yet I don't think you've ever spoke of having them arrested for it. You were wanting out, but you stated how scared you were. Where was Johnny at during this time frame too? I mean, Johnny's always stated he'd do anything for you.
This was May 1st of 2011.
Oh, so just not even quite 13 years ago. Now wait a minute. Not quite 13 years ago, but yet she stated in this video, and folks, I know we hadn't got to this point yet, but she stated that the kids were 12 and 13. Huh.
Didn't she say her and Johnny have been married 14 years?
Well, I thought she had.
I could have swore she said that they've been married 14 years.
Something's just not adding up. Yeah, Merle, something about your story is not adding up. It's not connecting. I hope you didn't have these many holes in your story when you were talking to the officers. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that case needs to be looked at again. Maybe they have overlooked a few things. Yeah, Beth, I agree with you. She's so wrong for choosing a man over her kids. Well, let's continue with the story and see what else we can gather.
And like I said, nobody deserves to die like that. No matter what he put me through, nobody deserves to die that way. And yes, I might have been harsh and said, I don't care what happens. Because I was hurt, I was angry, I was mad. And I'm allowed to have those feelings. I'm human. But Gail, there's my story, since you know it all. Now, let me see.
I watched these two people sign my babies away like they were nothing. And like I said, as bad as I wanted them, babies. Meant absolutely nothing to their little shits sometimes, but to say that you didn't know what you were signing is a crock of shit.
Right there.
Nowhere. But to say that you didn't know what you were signing is a crock of shit. Because I have watched that process and you can tell that lie to somebody else. You know exactly what you're doing when you sign those papers. And your kids will know one day.
You're exactly right. They will know. They will know the fucking truth. And let me tell you, I've seen my kids out. Very few times have I ran into them at Walmart. Do I tell them every time I am your mother? You damn right. You damn right. I walked by this bitch, my heart. Let me tell you, it's my heart. The very first time I ever ran across her since Jake died and we buried him. Me and Johnny was in Walmart. I pop around the aisle and there my kid is in my face. I couldn't step forward. I couldn't move. I was frozen. She said, "Don't you dare." Johnny said, "What's wrong?" I said, "That's my kid." Well, he looks at Legina and he said, "How fucking dare you do that to them kids and to her?"
Now, I've got to say this, Johnny, you're totally in the wrong. You should have got on to Melinda and told Melinda, how dare she do that to them kids? Hell, them kids are young. Now she's got them kids over, you know, saying, well, who's this woman? Why is she saying that she's my mother? And if she is my mother, why doesn't she want me? Why does she throw me out like garbage? Why doesn't she love me anymore?
I agree with you on that one, Wade, because if she's got a problem with the grandmother, then you take that up with the grandmother when the kids are not there. She should be ashamed of herself for putting that kid. Are they girls? Are they two girls?
I think it's a girl and a boy, but I'm
Girl and a boy.
For putting that kid, whichever one it was, in the middle. She should be ashamed of herself. That's horrible. Now you've done that to that kid. You've done that emotional damage to that kid, all for yourself, all for your selfish need to make yourself relevant. To look at that kid and be like, "Oh, I'm your mother." Are you really? Where have you been? Like, you just put that in that kid's head just to stab the grandmother is the only reason you did it. Not for any other reason at all. Not to validate that kid, but to take a stab at the grandmother. That you should have never done that. That's on her, and she should be ashamed of herself.
And I'll just say this, Miss Legina, um, the mother-in-law, looks like a nice lady with a nice family. So I'll leave it at that with her.
Well, she's raising the kids, so that's good enough
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay.
like I said once before, Johnny, and I'll say it again. Melinda done exactly to them two kids what your parents done to you. And now you're allowing it. You're over there babying Melinda's, oh, we'll be all white. It's okay. We'll see when they get older. That's wrong. That's
Yeah,
absolutely wrong.
yeah. It's sad. It, like I said earlier, it's sad. In the end, the only ones that get hurt is the kids, and the fact that the mother wants to do that to those kids is sick. All for her selfish needs.
At this point, Melinda's just worried about the views. That's why she's on here
Yeah,
discussing it.
yeah.
Views and sympathy.
Why would you put them out there like that? Like,
Yeah, I
why
mean, you
would you
ain't
do
done
that?
nothing. You ain't done nothing for them kids in 13 years. They're happy, healthy. Why would you even give them that kind of emotional luggage
Yeah,
to deal with?
yeah. If you see them in Walmart and they're with the grandmother, walk away. If you see the grandmother alone, hey, you go say whatever you want to her, whatever you want. She's a grown woman. But if you see those kids with her, you walk away. You don't damage those kids any more than you already have. That's not okay.
Hmm. I'm like straight shooter. The ages just don't jive, though.
Nothing about her does. So, anything that comes out of her mouth, it's just like him. It just makes no sense. Like her whole video. Oh, Gail, I'm going to give you my story about my kids. None of that was about her kids. It just makes sense to me about why she doesn't have her kids, because it's me, me, me. It's all so selfish. None of that was showing me anything about her kids, which is none of my business anyway. And my video was not about her kids anyway. It's about her. But I'm going to tell you my story, and about my kids, it was all about you. Everything's all about you. You confronting the mother-in-law in the store was about you. It was not about you wanting your kids to know who you are. It was about you. Everything she does is about her. Has nothing to do with her kids.
Even with age, she hadn't learned.
No, people like that don't learn. People like her and her creepy old man, or I don't even know if they're married, because she said they've been married 14 years. Clearly you haven't. Even, they never learn. They never learn because they really believe that they're right. That's what's sad about it.
Mm. My mama Payday said she made a comment here a while back that she thinks that's how long they've been together, but as far as married, it's just a few years.
So
Well,
she
yeah,
was cheating then.
right.
I want to put my opinion out there, what I think, because I know that was back in the time that she was in active hardcore heroin addiction.
Yeah.
I think she gave her kids up due to drug use.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, I'm sure.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure. And hey, if you did, just say it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least be a woman and say it.
Yep.
yeah. Well, I mean, that was pretty much it on the video, anyhow. The only other thing that's in this video, folks, is where she made the statement about the kids being 12 and 13, and then about 5-10 minutes on after that, someone had made a comment in chat, and she said that she's been over it for 13 years. She's put it behind her for 13 years. And like I told Seapress, well, that don't add up. How can you put it behind you before the kids were born? And my whole thing was like, well, something's not adding up with the whole timeline, with the ages, her getting over it. It just didn't really add up. Um, but
I
basically,
don't get it because Bird did the same thing. She give her kid up over drugs and her mental state of doing drugs and all that shit. I'm not a mother like that carries a kid, and I know that bond is much stronger than a father. But I would never like. I mean, I would swim a river of dog shit for my kids.
Dude, you'd have to kill me. Like, physically kill me because you ain't getting my kids. You ain't getting my grown kids. You have to kill me.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't see how any mother can give up on their kids, like for whatever reason it is. If you're mental, if you got drugs, I would do everything in my power I could to get my kids and to keep my kids.
Yeah, it's some people just ain't meant to be parents, man. That's all it is to it. Just some of them ain't meant to be. But guys, I'm gonna have to get off here and go see my kids for a minute before it's bedtime. I appreciate you guys having me on here. This has been great. I'll be back though.
All right. I
Thank you,
appreciate you coming up.
Michelle.
It's great talking
Um,
to you. We love you.
yeah,
I
yeah, we'll
love
try
you
to do
guys.
Jerry's tomorrow night. Love you too, Michelle.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and I'll be back.
All righty.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Love you.
All right. Love you,
Love
bro.
you. And
Bye,
and see,
guys. Huh?
oh, I was just gonna tell Seaver, this is what I imagine her putting on Facebook, 11 years ago or so. Um, because like he said, this is back when she was heavy in drugs. We know how her spelling was real bad and all, and
Oh my God, Wade.
yeah, I mean, so that's probably the reason why you still got one. You just didn't want those two. I mean,
I gotta tell you this real quick before I go. So when I got the first two, they were older, and when I got them, um, there were still visits happening. So the bio parents came by to see the two kids, and they were like, "Well, if we can't get them back, we'll just have another one." And I just looked at them. I said, "We're not talking about puppies here. Like, these are kids. You can't just have another one." Of course, they ended up having another one. I ended up with it too. So yeah,
well, man,
that's train of thought. It's really sad.
I used to tell my son when he'd act up, he better straighten up, or I'll take him out and make another one look just like him. You know, but but no, I appreciate everybody coming in. This wasn't going after attacking a woman or children. Children. This was to let y'all know her integrity, her how she is. Um, they always preach one thing, but they never do what they say. And uh, it would have been so easy if she really wanted to get the kids back, but she's proved that she hadn't.
Yeah, and let's make it clear to Melinda that you took the whole Miss Gill's video way out of context because, as she said earlier, she wasn't asking for all this extra stuff that you brought in. Like she was stating a fact about the kids and the adoption, and you added all this extra stuff in to try to, you know, gain sympathy and pull at heartstrings and to intermingle that into your story about your kids. I mean, it's you took it to a different level that it wasn't intended for. And as I said before, if you did get abused, I'm very sorry that you did. You
Most
know, no
definitely.
woman should, well, no woman should have to endure that kind of shit. But to me, listening to your story, it just seemed a little weird to me because the same thing that happened to your mom and dad, ironically, happens to you. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe that's things that happen in Kentucky. I don't know, but it don't sit that well with me.
But and the thing is, you know, if there was abuse and you did report it, show everybody. So that will wipe out any doubts. I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
tell you, there's a lot that's in this that I'm gonna be looking into a little further because I mean I'm intrigued about some of this stuff with the case with that guy and all. So I'll be digging into it. The kid stuff, I won't be digging into none of that. That stuff's all sealed anyway. You can't look up none of the kid stuff. I like the case with that guy and all because it really is weird because he was killed and the police report says he was killed in Floyd County, but he was found in Boyd County by some coal miners or some coal dock workers. Um,
and
I
see,
guess that's kind of what I think.
her story was he got out, hit his head, they just tossed him right over afterward. You know, that's
Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff. I'm gonna. I mean, I've got a lot of some of the court record stuff already, but I'm probably gonna FOIA. I'm probably gonna FOIA. Now, I do know the lady, like the guy's husband. She's not showing in prison. Um, he did get 23 years. He got a list of charges: assault and murder and tampering with evidence and some other shit. I'd have to look at all of them. But she's not showing in any jail or any prison. She's not showing to have gotten any time. But I probably will FOIA that whole record, that whole case, because I mean, it's intriguing to me.
Justice Roberts a possibility. I mean, you know, there it could be that coincidentally some of the things that happened in her parents' story happened to her as well. It's just very odd.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's odd. I mean, it's like a lot of odd variables and just weirdness. Uh, Melinda's
So
in here. Yeah, Melinda, I am. I do because I am intrigued about it and I want to learn about it. I mean, I know quite a bit about it already, but I want to know more.
yeah. And Melinda, since you're in here, let me ask you, why haven't you tried getting the kids back? Like I've stated, between Tennessee and Kentucky, there's not that much difference. It wouldn't be that hard to
Well, if
fight
she signed
and try to get them
adoption,
back. Well, yeah, and that's
well,
what I was gonna say, unless it was adoption papers that she signed, or unless they were.
well, like Miss Gail said, you don't sign adoption papers, but if the kids were adopted, then she wouldn't be able to get them back.
But they're not gonna come in and just take two 2/3. If they came in, they're taking all.
Yeah, Melinda, while you're in here, can you answer that for me? Why the lady? I don't want to dox her name, but do you know if she got out of that case? Because she's not showing being in prison, or she is showing she was charged with it, but it's not showing she got anything out of it. Did they drop the charges on her?
What you do? Take off.
I don't know. Jerry said he emailed or he sent you a message on IG, I think, too. So we'll check on that and try to get him up some other time.
Okay.
No, they didn't. She got 15 years. She got less time for turning state evidence. Well, she's not showing up in prison, and she's not showing up as being found guilty of anything. Like, I can find him, but she is not in the system anywhere. Which, I mean, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, she got 15 years. She should be in the system. Well, she got 15 suspended. Well, even then, she ought to be in the system.
Melinda, it is Caitlin, right? I won't put everything out there. That's what the county attorney said. Actually got moved to the prison my dad was at West Liberty. Yeah, because I mean, Kentucky records ain't even showing her as to have gotten. Well, I'm wondering if they might have let her off of it or something, because she's not even showing.
Melinda, did you know this couple? I mean, had you ever went out on any deals with them back then?
Yeah,
Yes.
and Benjamin, he's at Eastern Kentucky Correctional. That's where he's at now. Okay. Yeah, from everything I found, that's who it is Benjamin, and Caitlin.
All right. Well, Caitlin is the girl's name, but don't know the last name. It was in the newspapers. Yeah, they had put it out there in the articles. So
Yeah, I'll just say it. Yeah, they're Meeks. I'll just say it. It's Benjamin and Caitlin Meek. In case anybody wants to look up the stories on it, it's public knowledge. It's in the newspaper. Um, it's in the articles and stuff. Yeah, you're right, Melinda. It is. It's their Meeks. I think it's Eastern Kentucky's where he's at. Yeah, Eastern Kentucky Correction Complex.
she said, yeah.
Yeah, he got murder, robbery, assault, and tampering with evidence. It looked like he would have got about 40, 45 years, but they run his charges concurrent. Um, so I mean, he got a 23. I mean, he got a 23 on the murder, a 10, and then a couple fives. So he would have got a good amount of time if they hadn't run it concurrent. Which that's another thing that whole concurrent shit don't really sit well with me. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because I mean, you're doing the time, but in situations like that, you'd hope that they would run the shit consecutive.
Hmm. She said that she came forward, uh, or they would have never known who it was. And that's what the county attorney, Brent Turner, had told her.
No, yeah, I mean the story that she's got, I mean that story checks out. It makes sense. The only thing that didn't in the report was that he was found by a coal dock worker, but maybe the coal dock worker and that lady's wife, whatever, might have been that's who it was. Um, and then the him being killed in one county at a different location, and then they found him somewhere else, is what the report's saying. They're saying he was killed in Floyd County and found in Boyd County, which I don't know how far either one of them counties are apart from each other. And look, I don't know if you was in here, Melinda. Um, yeah, it was the Big Sandy River. I don't know if he's in here. Like, don't take it as I'm attacking you or anybody up here was attacking you about the domestic violence and stuff like that. Because absolutely, if that shit happened to you, it was wrong. I don't agree with any woman putting their hands on anybody. But it was just there's some things that seem kind of weird to me. Like, I mean, it seems like some of your mom and dad's stories are kind of the same things that happen to you. And I'm not. It very well possibly could be. I mean, the same shit might have happened to your mom that happened to you.
Yeah.
It's just when other people look at it, like me or other people, it just looks a little weird.
Michelle D, to answer your question, so she done a live today in response to Gail's video. Gail responding on, how if a mother has her kids taken away, how you got CPS out there, and CPS in a lot of ways, even though it's protecting the children, it's also helping, to help the parents get their kids back. And so Melinda done a video on it, and as she's wanting to explain her story about the ordeal with losing the kids, this was the story that she started telling, and this was all part of her story. So, to help you understand why we got on the discussion with that, it was in response to everything in there. The guy that was murdered, with her first husband, and there had been, as Melinda,
Well, that's the kid's. That's the kid's father.
the kid's father, it would have been she talked about being in a abusive relationship throughout with them, and yeah, talked about kids being taken. What brought up alerted us was why we're 2 out of 3. So I think you would have to see both her segment on the story, come back, see our live, what we're. It's not. It was by no means attacking. It's just there was some holes in there that we were questioning. Uh, Kind of glad that Melinda actually came into chat, so we could ask some questions and all.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Gail was just giving her perspective on the adoption, the CPS, DCS, whatever service it is in certain states, of her experience and knowledge of that situation and how it didn't add up. Like, she's not attacking all the other things about it. She just it that didn't that didn't it didn't sit right with her either.
And
Um,
they've got, believe it or not, even though they're done, you got different states, they've got almost a federal guideline they have to go by. So there may be some little things you see different state by state, they're not going to vary off that much.
All right, so Melinda said he was very abusive. I had temporary custody drawn up with my mom for Riley, and I had my mother-in-law's lawyer draw up the same papers, and then within a month I'd gotten a letter saying Legina, which is her mother-in-law, I think she's got to finish writing. Let me ask you this, Melinda, while you finishing. Yeah, so her mother-in-law had adoption papers. How? I have no clue because I know what I signed. I mean, hell, I got Riley back. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I mean, I understand, getting Riley back because Riley wasn't their kid. It wasn't Jake's kid or his mother-in-law had any rights to Riley, and you signed temporary over to your mom, which she could fast track you getting Riley back. So that kind of is a little different situation than the other two kids. This is my thing this is what one of my questions is when if you got these adoption papers, why did you why would you agree to adoption? I mean, why would you agree to adoption papers?
It could have
Or
been
how
two.
did that get found? Not to say that how did you agree to it, but how did those adoption papers get finalized?
I mean, it's
Like, did
literally
you?
two different cases. So, would you like to come up and discuss it so you don't have to sit there and type so
Yeah, I
much?
mean, we're not going to attack you. I'm not going to attack you.
I mean, if you want to, I'll go to the backstage if you just want to talk with Seeper. We, and you just let me know in chat if you would like to come up. I'll drop the.
That's what she couldn't figure out. That's what's that's such what I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand how your mother-in-law could force an adoption on you. That's where I'm confused and I'm having some issues. She says she can't talk for crying. It's a touchy subject, but she don't care to answer anything. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Yeah, that's where I'm just a little confused on is how that process was forced upon you. And the other thing is where was the I'm assuming because I was a little confused with the live you did. I'm assuming because I thought I spoke wrong and I thought that the night that y'all got chased by the police is when they took the kids, but then I heard it tonight that when he gave you all those pills or whatever. So that's what they were trying to take your kids for was over the overdose and drug use and stuff like that.
No. So no, okay. I'll let Melinda explain it. Therefore, I don't get it wrong, and then she corrects me, and then it'll just be better coming straight from her.
Yeah, because I'm still confused on why they even was trying to take her kids. It was over the abuse because the law came out so much. The law brought CPS in.
Okay, so but when they finally came, was it when he choked you? Was it when the pills? When do they? Which time do they finally come out, Melinda?
Yeah, Michelle D, I agree with you there because I know a couple of them here in Nashville, and they've been like lifelong heroin addicts, and I mean, in and out of jail, getting caught with needles sticking out of their pockets, overdosing, all kinds of shit, and hell, they still got their kids. That was the last time he abused me, not when we were in Ohio.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, Melinda, was there did he ever go to jail, or was there charges or anything like that on him for abuse? Okay, so she said that's when her mom had Riley. She says no, she never pressed anything on him, but my family begged me to, though. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, I guess that's. I mean, I'm still. I guess I'm as confused as you and everybody else. I just don't. I don't know how she could. How anyone could get to adopt your kids.
She said she only smoked weed when she was with Jake. I guess the hard drug use came later.
Trying to shine says truth is you have to mess up bad to lose your kids. At least from what I've seen. Yeah, especially for a mother. Like for a father, I think it's a little easier, or I want to say it's a lot easier. But for a mother, it's hard. Um, she says she never got on hard drugs till she was around 25. Yeah. And Justice, I get that too. She says she might have been scared of him like other abuse victims. That happens a lot. They're a female. I mean, I dealt with it with my sister. And sometimes it ain't that. Sometimes it ain't really as much the fear as much as it is that they love that person so much that they think that they won't do it again. You know, that the guy is such a narcissist manipulator that, he manipulates them into, oh, it won't never happen again, blah, blah, blah. And they stay. And I mean, that's how it happened with my sister several times. Um, I'm just, I think just with me, all the other stuff I get. I mean, I get all the other stuff, but I just don't get the whole adoption thing. I don't get that of. Yeah, I just don't see how Regina, whatever her name is, I forget what her name was. I think it's Regina.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what she put in chat.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. I've never seen any kind of adoption like that. I mean, I'd have fought them like Helen back to have not been able to lose my kids,
Hmm.
or for them to
Well,
try to take my kids.
yeah. I mean, Melinda, I hope you can see our point about where you said, "Why did you still have Riley?" It's two different cases right there. They were temporary custody with two different people, so that's the reason on that one. And
Well, yeah, because Jake and his family had no rights to Riley.
right,
I don't know. Do they have grandparents' rights in in Kentucky, Melinda?
she said, but the same papers were drawn though. So what you're saying is his parents, the paperwork that they had drawn had Riley's name on it.
I think she might mean the same type of paperwork. That was
Well, yeah,
temporary custody.
but yeah, it's the same kind of paperwork. However, they were two different cases because one of them was for your mother, for Riley, and the other case,
Was for
the other two
Legina.
kids for Legina. So even though it's the same type of case, it's actually two different cases.
Yeah.
They just pushed them through. We're trying to get them pushed through at the same time because
Yeah, because Legina and them couldn't do anything about Riley. They didn't have they've got no kind of rights to Riley. They'd have none to her. Only person that would have rights to her would be her biological father, his family, which if there's no grandparents, right? She said the same temporary custody papers, just the kids named different. Yeah, the same type of paperwork, just different names, going to two different families. Yeah, and like I said earlier, that's what it splits it up, because with Riley goes to your mom, that's your family. You know what I'm saying? That's your blood family. So things can be done differently with your family, like your mom can help you and all this stuff. But then with the other two kids, you're fighting against a mother-in-law that might not want to help you like your mom would. So, um, no, the adoption papers don't, Melinda.
No.
But this is the thing. She says, then why the hell didn't my mom end up with adoption papers? That's my thing. So this is why, is because your mom didn't fight to adopt Riley. Legina obviously fought to fight to adopt those kids. So I think that's the difference there. I mean, and I could be completely wrong. I'm just trying to use. I've never been through the situation. I have a little bit of knowledge of it. But I just try to think common sense of why. I mean, I do know parents' rights, because I mean, I had to do some shit with my baby's mom at one time in life. But
Well, see, I don't know how much of the live you've seen tonight, but that's what Gail was stating. So if an adoption case, which would have been what would happen with these two, if I'm not mistaken, Gail said
you wouldn't
afterwards,
have to.
yeah, you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, if Legina filed adoption on you or adoption on those kids, then you wouldn't have anything. You wouldn't have to. Now, you would have to, I think you would have to sign a bunch of paperwork signing your rights away.
Right.
I think that's what, because I think Miss Gail said it was like 8 different signatures that it took.
Yeah, it's an awful lot. It's almost like buying a car.
Yeah. I don't know. That whole shit's weird to me. I don't know. That whole adoption shit is weird. I don't understand.
She signed one paper and that's it.
Yeah, she said, wouldn't they have to notify me? My point, which I didn't. Yeah, I mean, you would have to, like Grind and Shine says right there, you have to either be proved unfit in the court of law, or you have to give up your rights.
And but that may have been where the paperwork came in. If one of those pieces of paper were where she was signing over parental rights.
I'm just wondering this, Melinda, did you read that paperwork very well? I'm just wondering if they got voodooed, like some shit put off in that temporary paperwork where she got voodooed. I don't know.
Grind to shine, not necessarily, because when my dad adopted my sister, her real father did not show up in court. My father went up there. This is after he signed the paperwork that the court sent him. Judge put his name on the paperwork. My father became her legal father.
Yeah, so I just had somebody send me something, and hang on. Yeah, you can't have an adoption without parental rights terminated.
Right.
Miss Gail said she comes after I leave. Hilarious. Yeah, I wish she would have came while you was on panel, Miss
Well,
Gail. So you
well,
could
Gail,
have.
you can, if you still got that link, you can come
Melinda,
on back.
they have to be terminated for your kids to be adopted. Like it wouldn't, it never would hold up for you to for anybody to adopt them without your rights being terminated. Now, whether or not you got bamboozled into terminating your rights, or if you got tricked or something, but somehow, some way, somebody has terminated your rights to them kids, or else they wouldn't have never been able to be adopted. Yeah, and I can't even. I mean, I know Miss Gail's been through that process with multiple kids, so I know she knows it. I don't even really want to speak. I just speak from a common sense standpoint and what I do know. Um, but I mean, I do know that you can't. Ain't nobody's kids can be adopted without the parental rights being terminated, and you would have to sign for that. Unless, like something went through the court and you were proven unfit. I don't know. Miss Gail, do you know how that works if you're still in here? Like if somebody's proven unfit, do they have to sign their rights away then, or does the courts just take their rights? I think abandonment too. I think that can be another reason that the court can do some stuff, but I mean everything I know of it always has to go through court because that's where it has to be made official.
I mean, was there a possibility that maybe they sent you some paperwork or for any court dates or so that you may have missed that, or that you didn't receive the paperwork?
Yeah, so I'll tell you my experience is I left my baby's mama because she got on pills and I had to file child support on myself. I had to go down because she wasn't letting me see my child. And so I went down and did a paternity test and filed child support on myself. And I know the process I went through just to do that and how many times I had to go to court. And that was a process just to get rights to be able to see my kid.
Melinda, no, Gail never said there was anything funny about being abused. Matter of fact, she even said on here tonight that she knew nothing of that story until you went on telling it. And if that story is true, she is sorry to hear that. She does not think anything about abuse is funny. Appreciate
Yeah,
it,
and
Grump.
her video wasn't about that, Melinda. It wasn't about the abuse part or anything like that. It was about the adoption part of kids. Because hell, at the time we didn't even know anything about the abuse until you're live.
She said that she just laughed over it. Let me scroll up because I sure didn't see it, and I can't imagine her doing that.
Yeah, Jerry, I'd be interested to hear your story on your process. Jerry is in Kentucky, um, and he's gonna come on and tell us his story about his adoption process. No, Gail even said tonight on our live that she don't agree with women. I mean, being beat on. Hell,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't.
think anybody, any good person, agrees with any woman getting beat on.
Yeah, I don't think she's talking about the abuse part there. I
No,
think
it's
you're.
just she knows the adoption process and how long it takes, and she is the same way. There's something that's weird about this of how you lost your kids, and how it happened so fast to you. Hey, Jennifer.
Jennifer, I hope you're doing well.
I'm confused about it. Like I don't know. I know Miss Gail knows what she's talking about when it comes to. I mean, she's done it enough. She spent 8 years in courts, running around in courts. You know, that's why I say it's a big shout out to Miss Gail because not only did she take these kids in, she took time out of her day to go and sit in these courtrooms and do this court situation to be able to give these kids a better life. So, you
Okay.
know,
Now here's another thing. So when all this was being handled, was this at the time that? Well, no. Okay, so Cynthia and Info Warriors know because you remember she went back to him in order to hopes to get the kids back. So they knew where he was at that time. It was later that he couldn't be found. So yeah, at the 9:37 mark, Cynthia and uh, he made a statement about that. There was an Info Warrior Truth, and the papers were filed during that time stating bio parent cannot be found, and if the bio parent does come back into the picture, it would take a lawyer, and that's quite a bit here.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stay confused because I don't know the process. I trust Miss Gill and the process she knows, and I know that it may have a slight variation from state to state, but I know for the most part it's going to remain the same. You know, throughout child services, CPS, DCS, whatever system, they all stay the same. I mean, I've lived in a bunch of states, and I mean, it may have some minuscule things that it's another state might not have, but for the most part, it's all the same. And I'm just going to stay confused because I don't. I mean, until there's some more information put out, I don't know. It just seems ludicrous to me that someone could just adopt your kids without you signing your rights away. That's a good question, Brandy Day. Was the adoption before or after her ex passed away? That is a really good question that I don't think none of us have asked.
Well, the I think okay, so the kids were originally taken before he passed, but yeah, as far as the actual adoption,
Well, I mean, that's the other thing that don't add up, Wade, is it's like he said that it was just a few weeks after she signed, had the temporary custody papers, and just a few weeks later, she got hit with the adoption stuff. And man, it just, from what I know, it just don't run that fast.
but no, I've never heard of one being that fast. BC want to know if she's
Uh,
ever gone to prison. BC, I
904.
don't think she has. I mean, I think on that end, she stayed pretty clean. I could be wrong. I mean, but I don't think she ever has. I think Johnny's been arrested enough times for both of them.
And I will say this: as much as confused as I am, I will say I would suggest I wouldn't rock any boats because obviously she come in here confused about the situation just like I am about the adoption, whatever. Um, but I wouldn't rock no boats as to uh, things going on with the kids because they've been gone that long. They're obviously taken care of, healthy. You know, a lot of people don't understand, even with you know, mothers and fathers that end up fighting, and it's a drawn out, all kinds of bad relationships. What you damage the kids, you know. So my suggestion would be I wouldn't make any waves in those kids' lives. When they get grown,
Not at,
16,
not at this
18
point.
years old, yeah, I mean, it's just they've been gone too long. So it's not even, I wouldn't even try to rock any waves now. But, when they get 16, 18 years old, get to be an adult, they're going to want, I mean, kids are going to want to probably reach out to their parents at some point in life. Some don't, but I mean, a vast majority of them do. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't cause any issues with them kids. I mean, I know it's probably an inflammatory discussion and thoughts for you, but at the end of the day, it's what's best for the kids. Everything happens. I believe everything happens for a reason in life. Sometimes we don't understand it, but um, at the end of the day, the kids are obviously doing good. So,
Well, I mean, they're in the adolescence age, and the grandmother's done a great job so far. Um, let them finish getting out of school, and when they take that next step of their own life, yeah, hit them up then. Try to be a part of their life then. I mean, if you can't be a parent to them at that stage, at least try to be a friend.
well, yeah, because they're still at a vulnerable stage in their life. I mean, what are they just now being teens or something?
Yeah, they're in.
They're still, yeah, their minds and stuff are still vulnerable. So, I mean, even like like the store trips, Melinda, like I wouldn't do that. I mean, I get it. You want to tell them you're their mom and all this stuff, but what you're doing, you're hurting those kids, um, because you're not with them, and so they've got to deal with that damage. Once they get grown, then they'll be able to process them things more. But right now, they're still vulnerable.
Look at it as that grandmother took a negative and it's turned into two positives right now. She took two negatives and it turned into two positives right now because with the way your life went after he got killed and all, you had a lot of bad things happen in your life. And if you'd have had those two kids with you plus Riley, where would they be now?
Hey, Miss Nada.
They
Yeah, I don't
may be,
know. It's a lot of
they may,
inconsistencies, a lot of
I
weird
mean,
stuff.
there's a possibility they may end up being in some strangers'
Well,
home.
and this is another thing that I look at too is like even through the say whatever happened, with the adoption and all that stuff, within like the as soon as that happened, like I mean, are y'all not on good terms? Was y'all not on good terms then? I mean, I'm sure the son probably dying probably put a hamper in. I'm sure there's probably some animosity in the family or something, but like I believe if it was me and all that stuff happened to me like it's said to be happened, you know, even a year after or so, I still believe I would have tried to have reached out and tried to have been in those, even though that was an adoptive, that they were adopted by his mom. I mean, was that an option not on the table to at least still be in their life? Some, visitation, stuff like that. Um, I don't know. It's just a lot. I don't know. It's just I don't know enough about it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I find it weird. I find a lot of it weird. Um, but I'll leave it at. I'm glad the kids are taken care of.
Yep. And like we said, maybe hopefully down the road, also Riley can be introduced to her siblings and have a relationship with them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even know how old they are now. I mean, they may be. I guess they got to be close to Riley's age, a couple years behind. So, I mean, they're getting up close to adulthood. All of them are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, like the story I told earlier, like, my mom, they were a family, they were back in those days, it was big families, 6, 7, 8, 10 kids. And all of her siblings were split up into orphanages and like orphanages in different places, all over the different places. So, when they went through all that stuff, then they all had to search each other out and reconnect with each other and rekindle their siblinghood. Um, I believe they're all in the same area up there, so uh, I mean, I'm sure it'll work out between Riley and her siblings. I know if I had siblings that were out there, I would want to search them out and find out who they were and get to know them, hang out and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd hate to know 15, 20 years of my life went by and then I was found out that I had siblings. But I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully everything works out in the end for the best. We all make mistakes in life, some more so than others, but hopefully with those mistakes we learn from them. I mean, if you can learn from a mistake and go on with it, that's great. If you keep making the same mistakes over and over, then there's an issue.
Oh,
So hopefully this is something that later on down the road they can get straightened out. And Melinda, like we said, if there was abuse, definitely sorry that not only you but any female out there that's went through it. Sorry that they've had to deal with that. No woman should have to go through that.
what's up, Barendorf?
Joe,
Yeah,
how you doing? Yeah, Kathy. I mean, a lot of people maybe didn't necessarily go through abuse, but they've seen it growing up. Many years with their parents, so they
Hi,
can,
KJ.
in a way, they can kind of feel what some of these people are going through with. And whether y'all like Gail or not, and I know there's a lot of people watching tonight that don't like Gail. Here's the thing: what Gail spoke about in her video with her expertise. She's done it many a time. It wasn't like Seeper said, and like Gail said, it wasn't to attack nobody. She's just telling you how things go down.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't. If you don't like, if you don't like Miss Gale, then I really don't. If you don't like her, you don't like her for any other for another reason, not than for her. That's why you don't like her. You don't like her because of another reason. Because she is genuine, and she like she speaks her mind and she tells you how it is. And I would rather somebody, regardless if you like what she says or you don't like what she says, I would rather have somebody tell me exactly what it is rather than beat around the bush and sugarcoat shit. You have to respect somebody like that. So for the people out there that don't, like, I know there's going to be the simps that follow along of the people that don't like Gail, but what really is your reasoning behind you not liking Gail? Because you really don't know her. Because if you did know her like I know her, then there would be no way that you'd be like, I mean, she is the most genuine person that there is.
Yeah. I mean, was it because she was going after her sister, Patty?
And
And because,
at the end of the day, that's not like that's not their business. That's her sister. You know, they inject themselves into that business and make it their business, but that's not their business. You know, yeah, people will argue with that. Well, you know, it's on YouTube. Okay, that's fine. It's on YouTube. You don't have to damn, and I get it. Not everybody's gonna like everybody, but you don't just dislike somebody because of this other person don't like them. Like just because Johnny don't like her, then you got all these other simps that are, oh, well, fuck Miss Gail, blah blah blah. You know, that is piss weak, blind sheep following another blind sheep, and that's what's wrong. You know, we've got so much of that going on right now on YouTube. You know, people don't stand up for, they don't stand for themselves. They're standing for what somebody else thinks.
and some people don't like her because Seeper and myself defend her when people attack her. So they think, all right there, well, she's tied in with Wade and Seeper, so she can't be good. We stand up for Gail because of what kind of person she is. It has nothing to do with, and a lot of people have said this, that the only reason we have anything to do with her because of who she's kin to. I could care less. I've defended a lot of other people on here that in no shape, form, fashion, or any way connected to that man. Like I've
Look,
always said,
I'm just put
Gail
it out
reminds
there.
me of my favorite aunt. She tells it like it is. There's no filter. She's straight up forward, and that's what I like.
You know, to me, Gail is family to me.
Hmm.
Uh, and this may sound bad to some people, and I haven't met Miss Gail yet personally. We will soon, you know, with the concert and all that stuff. But if I had my chance, and like I said, this may sound bad, but if I had my chance to hang out with Ryan or Miss Gail, I would hang out with Miss Gail. And I'm just being honest.
Me and Miss Gail's got more in common than me and Ryan.
So when people say that stuff, oh, you're just friends with her because you want to go to Ghost Ranch. No, I don't. I don't ever. I would rather go to Miss Gail's house and play with the goats.
Yeah, but I ain't turning my back on no damn goat. Every time I do, my ass gets it. Like my pants, they like to start chewing on. So now,
Well, I mean, like, I've said it before. I love Ryan's music. Like, we're just, I don't think I'm the same kind of, like, I'm kind of like, I call myself like, I call myself like a country gangster because I'm country, but I'm from the streets, And like, I don't think me and, I don't think me and Ryan would like click like I don't think we do the like I do the same shit he does. Like I like to get out in the woods and four wheel and all that shit. But I just think I'm like probably a little more gangster than what he's probably used to. Um but like I connect with Miss Gail, like her kind of like how she is. I connect with people on that kind of level. I don't know, it's just weird. Like I don't know, maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'd rather hang out with Miss Gill than.
my thing is I get out with people and I tend to get in trouble because I've got this thing about, and yes, Johnny, it's only just a few teeth. I still don't bite my tongue. Uh, so I just somebody says something, and if I disagree with it or so, I often speak up, and that often gets me in trouble. It may start a little controversy, but yeah, uh, I
Well,
like people.
I get tired of the thing of everybody's like, oh, and not just with us, with a lot of people. They're like, oh, they're just doing this, or they're just friends with this person so they can get to Ghost Ranch, or so they can meet Ryan. And I'm just like, man, if y'all only knew how many times we've been in the same place already. And my DJ was his DJ. It's like he's a normal guy. That people need to treat him like a normal guy. People that's not in Nashville, and I think this is what the thing is the people that ain't here in Nashville. Because on any given Sunday, we can go to Pancake Pantry, and there's no telling who you'll meet. You can go to you might see this person or that person. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill were customers in my tanning salon. That's how we became friends. But it's not like we don't get starstruck here in Nashville. And so a lot of people I think that I haven't really experienced that kind of stuff in life, then they're the ones that are like, oh, they just want to meet Ryan, they just want to meet Ryan. And it's like, dude, do you know how many people we meet in Nashville? And most especially being in the club scene? Like I don't have motives. Like my motives are not I like good people. That's what I like. I like good, genuine people. I don't give a shit who they're kin to, what they have. I just like good, genuine, loyal people, and that's it.
Hold on, Zeeper. Uh, Blue Eyes, who posted that? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, Zeeper.
And I don't want nobody to take it out of context either. Like, I'm saying anything bad because, like I said, I love everything about what Ryan stands for. He stands for the South, the country people, integrity and loyalty and morals. And, I love everything and I love all his music. I'm not saying anything bad about him at all because, I think he's a great guy. I think he's misunderstood from a lot of people. I think he has much deeper thoughts and a much broader means of thinking than a lot of these people on the internet that want to be that try to be haters to him, that they're so simple minded that they just can't understand him. And I get that because you can't take somebody that's I mean, that guy is so good in like, I mean, he does so much stuff good. He does art, you know, he does the music. You can tell the guy is super smart. I mean, I'd like to know his IQ level. I think I've said it before, but I'd like, because I would probably say he's probably a genius IQ level.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be way up there. You could probably put Johnny's and Martin Speaks and Mocon and all of them together, and they wouldn't even get half of what his is. Hell, probably not even a freaking third.
Well, you know, most people are blessed with, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can learn to do, you know, that you can practice at and learn to do. But like when you're gifted and you have talents, a lot of people are only gifted with, you know, one talent or maybe two. But that man has a lot.
Like I said, between the comedy, his drawings, his paintings, his singing, and it multi-talented, you know, and say, I mean, it's just, then let's look at what he's done when he was messing with out there with some wood that time, and it's just
Yeah.
now his not only his singing, but now we've seen him play different kind of instruments now, where he's gotten into that. I mean, hell, we heard him play the harmonica here just a few weeks ago.
Man, I tell you what, you said that. I hope he incorporates that in more of his music because I used to play the harmonica back in the day. And I tell you, another instrument that I wish he would. It's hard to find it. There's a band that I used to bring into the club, and they're one of the only bands that I know that still do it. But the harmonica and the steel guitar,
Mm-hmm.
like hardly nobody uses a steel guitar no more. But man, I hope he does incorporate that. Because that JJ Lawthorne song, man, that's a really, really, really good song.
Oh, when I heard him on that C harmonica the other day, it's like, oh hell, you know, because I've stated several times that was the only instrument I could play. I mean, my cousin tried to teach me how to play the guitar, but I'm left-handed, so they just threw that out the window at the time because we were trying to use his guitar, and it's like, no, that's just. So he was trying to teach me as a right-hander, and they're like, no, this ain't working.
Miss Gibbs, her daddy did. Did he play the steel guitar?
I think it was a harmonica.
Oh, yeah, harmonica. Yeah, I'm reading the comments. And yeah, that's the thing is, like, if you don't have a really broad spectrum, critical, deep thinking mind, then you can't understand people like that. And, you know, all these people run with, oh, he's on drugs, he's on drugs. No, he just thinks a lot deeper and a lot broader than you simpletons do.
Huh. And I've got a bunch of like harmonicas that I would buy and I'd break apart. And so when you open them up, you can change the tune on some of them.
Oh, she said harmonica.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a harmonica. I still
Oh,
got mine. I need to get back to playing it some.
and guitar. So yeah.
Yeah, I love to hear a steel guitar. I think that's probably a couple of my favorite instruments. Probably the harmonica, the steel guitar. I love a saxophone, and then a piano, of course.
I'll tell you what else I like if someone is good at playing it, and that's a 5-string banjo.
Yeah, now banjo too. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you a video, Wade, since you like the banjo. I follow this little kid. He is one hell of a banjo player.
We used to go down. Not very few people are going to know what I'm talking about, but if you're from the Tennessee area, especially the Davidson Cheatham area, you're going to know, and Miss Gale's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But the old Scottsboro Community Club. Now you go down there on Friday nights, and there were some bands down there. A friend of ours used to play down there that you could listen to. You talking about some musicians that would come through there that they just done it for fun, but oh my God, it make you think of just old timers playing on the back porch.
Yeah, I think Miss Gill said she loves that song too. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. With him and JJ. It's just got it's just got that southern roots. Like I don't know, it's just a badass song. Cynthia says sax is a sexy instrument. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story about me. So probably one of my most favorite concerts that I went to, and no, it wasn't a Luke Bryan concert, but one of my favorite concerts I think that I've ever been to was a Kenny G concert.
Did Dana go with you on that one?
Hell no.
Sly?
Nah, my mom and dad used to run an amphitheater, and I was there by myself. I just laid out on the grass and just listened to him play the sax all night. I tell you another one that I really like is that I've grown to like is the violin. That Damien Escobar. I went to one of his concerts here, and that dude rips a violin to pieces. I mean, by the time his shows is over, he's done been through a couple violins because he's done tore the strings off of them.
My wife's grandmother used to play an instrument, and I, for the sake of me, cannot think of it. You lay it in your lap or like on a table, and it's got, I want to say like seven, maybe eight strings on it. You put your finger in a like a steel bar to slide across it. You know what I'm talking about? So with one hand, you got like a pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Harpsichord?
yeah. Oh my
Yeah, I'm not.
God, she could tear that thing up. Well, Kathy Blake, it looks. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's just a square little instrument, but oh my God, she could. I mean, she'd play that damn thing. That's right. That and she also played the 5 string banjo, and she played both of them in her church too.
Well, I'll tell y'all if y'all ever see, he don't do like really big shows. I mean, he has done some, but usually he just does small places, and he don't usually charge very much. But if you ever get the opportunity to go see Damien Escobar, it's well worth whatever he charges to go see it. And you can look him up on YouTube. I mean, you can watch it on YouTube. But he is a violin playing fool. He plays a lot of the mix ups, like a lot of the rap songs he'll play on his violin, and it's just crazy to see somebody play an instrument that good.
Well, now a dobro is just like a regular guitar, though. Am I right?
I'm not sure what a dobro is.
I think a dobro is like a just a type of steel, like a steel guitar or so.
Maybe.
Well, one saying no, one saying it is. It just has its own special sound. Okay.
I tell you another one. Since y'all were in here, y'all might know what the hell is his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. He used to play. He was the house guy He played the blues. Stacy Mitchell played at the blues bar. See if Miss Gill's ever seen him or heard of him. He played at the Bourbon Street Blues Bar. He was their house guy. He's went huge over in like Europe and shit. Same thing with Michael Bolton. Some of the older people in here will probably know who Michael Bolton is. But he did the same thing. Like, he hit it all right over here. And then he went on like a European tour and just killed it over there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what Stacy's doing.
Yeah, Michael Bolton's one of them. You added some of his songs, that special tape when he was bringing a date back home back in the 80s. That's all I'm going to say about that. And yes, folks, I said tape. That's, like I said, I'm going back to the 80s.
Oh, I played softball with him at Walnut Creek Amphitheater one year.
Yeah, that was it. That time, that's the only time you'd play his music. But yeah, you made sure you had a few of his songs on there, like When a Man Loves a Woman. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I tell you, Stacy Mitchell, he's good because he's kind of like that. He's gifted in multiple ways because he plays the hell out of the sax. He plays the piano. I think he may play the guitar too, and he sings. But yeah, last I heard, I think he's back here now, but he went on a European tour and killed it. Like they loved him over there.
Mike wanted to know if Ruby Valley was in Western North Carolina.
I'll tell you another group that's really weird, but it's so crazy. I think it's called Walk Off the Earth. It's a group of people, guys, and it's some guys and a girl, and they use the most unorthodox shit to make noises with. Like it'll be cups or these little things they sling around, or they'll use their zippers to go up and down, and they make hellacious music.
Oh, Cynthia, yeah, the 80s were good times. And
Let me pull this. I don't know if you can play it or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's on there, but yeah, I mean, I played the hell out of that damn tape too. Used it quite a few times till I came home one night, or actually early one morning, and realized that damn tape wasn't in my room, and realized damn parents had it in their bedroom, and I fucking burnt that tape.
I'll tell you one that you can load up and get ready to play whenever we get off. It's April song.
Yeah. Actually, I meant to pull that up anyhow because we discussed that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm probably going to jump off here in a minute.
Yeah, let me.
Thank you, Miss Kathy. That's the don't throw rocks at my houses. that's the workman's comp avatar.
Nope.
Hey, while we're at it, hey Johnny, if you're listening, I heard a concerned citizen talk to the mayor today. He talked to the mayor of Paintsville.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's the word.
Oh, hell. Oh, shit, Johnny. Wonder what the concerned citizens found out.
I'm not gonna let it out just yet, but I gotta get with the concerned citizen.
Sound like we may have a video drop or a live. You may have to get a. Do what now?
No, what was you saying?
I was saying we may have to have a video drop, or may have to get a live up with this concerned citizen, or have them do a drop.
Yeah, we may can get him up here.
Yeah.
904 Mike. Yeah, I've been to Cades Cove.
Mm. I love Cades Cove, especially in the late fall.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of deer up there, turkey. But my God, watch out for the snakes if you walk around them cabins.
Gail said, "Not the mayor." Yeah, I don't think the concerned citizen. I don't think he was tickle fighting with the mayor, but from what I said, what I heard, and what was said to me was it was quite hilarious.
Mayor probably don't like Johnny too much right now. I mean,
Well, I don't think Johnny's as popular and painful as he thinks he is.
oh, well, Johnny not popular? Well, no, of course not. I mean, look at their car; they're locally hated.
And from what I heard, I don't know that workman's comp case. That workman's comp case, I don't know if it's gonna go over too well.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. The concerned citizen didn't sound like it was gonna be too good of an ending for old Johnny Gobble.
That doesn't sound good at all. Johnny, I mean, you're already cashing in on this, so
I'm just gonna tell him I wouldn't put all of his eggs in one basket.
but he was gonna buy his daughter and possibly his son, a
Miss Gail
car.
said, he said, "Did he tell you Ryan did burnouts?" I forgot to ask the concerned citizen that.
Well, concerned citizen, whoever you are, please keep us informed. I mean, I like it when citizens are trying to find out. Her channel. Well, it's just why am I not being able to pull it up?
April G showers.
There it is. Whoa. And
Yeah,
she
I'll just tell y'all that I heard the phone conversation, and it's hilarious.
well, like you got some inside information from somebody. I like that.
Yeah, Johnny, you ain't the only one with that inside information. I got that shit too.
See, I'm gonna have to get me some inside people.
Hey, look, if you're a concerned citizen, the mayor is a really nice guy.
Well, there you
He
go, folks.
seems he seems to want to talk to anybody as long as your last name ain't Gobble. After hearing the conversation from the concerned citizen today, I feel like I might need to call the old mayor up and talk to him.
Well, I mean, Johnny, I don't know what to tell you. This is sounding bad.
BTU says, "What the fuck is wrong with Patty? Why is she hitting on a married man? I know you're watching, Patty. You need more help." Hey, Patty loves us. Johnny,
That's what.
what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I know these lonely women out here have feelings for us, and I'll do what I can. But Patty, honey, you got to realize I'm married.
Kill and superiorities.
I mean, maybe she'll come to realize, but why in the heck is this keep coming on?
She said, "I want to be a concerned citizen." Damn it!
I think we're all concerned at this point in time. I mean, we're all
Look,
concerned for Johnny's well-being. He's got to make him car payments now. He got to do these. Johnny, I thought you were going to start doing lives once, every day. You got to make a car payment.
I could be wrong. I'd have to review what was sent to me, but I believe if you call down to the Paintsville to the mayor's office and you dial 13, I think the mayor will pick right up and talk to you.
Oh, 13.
Yeah, I think it's extension 13. But he'll answer and he'll be like, "Mayor."
Well, 13. That is definitely interesting. Extension 13, folks.
I think it's 13. I'd have to listen back to the video and see. Gail says Patty loves some Wade and Seeper. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to Patty. But not just long ago she wanted to kill us.
Well, I think
She
she's
was
kept all that bottled in so long that it just came out. I mean.
she was flicking stuff at us.
Yeah. Really didn't even put Johnny in there with it, did she? I mean, it's Rusty. She likes listening to that voice of Rusty at night as Rusty talks to her, and she's laying in her bed all alone between the two sheets, listening to his voice, wondering why he's not laying there beside her. As she dreams he's just holding her, maybe even possibly spooning.
Gail said, "Mayor, my leg is numb. Can I get a check after I get fired?"
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, the longer I sit here and talk, the more numb my legs are going. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Mayor, I am so I've
Joseph
been sitting here
Dierte.
talking about you.
You know how when Patty when she gets ready to end the video, she flicks her like Hayukins. Yeah, that's it. Ka-chow.
Well, Patty, while you're listening, I got a question for you.
Y'all done got me on one now.
Do you have us on a home entertainment system? If to grab that big old speaker and lay it down. Now cut the tremble all the way down and the bass up. Now I'm just going to do this just for you. Now what I want you to do is straddle that speaker. Are you ready? This is just me and you now. No one else is listening. So picture my face. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Hold on. I'll go full screen for you. Just for you. This is just me and you.
Do the
Ready?
ka-chow.
There you go, Patty, just for you.
Do the ka-chow.
Now, folks, excuse me, I gotta wipe my face off here.
Oh shit.
Melissa, please forgive me, for I have sinned. I know Martin Speaks is over there right now. You're committing adultery. You're committing adultery.
Look, that video that Miss Gail did where she was talking about I forget what it was. I guess where she was saying where she just wanted to be like Patty, and at the end she does the chow. Oh my god! I think that's what's wrong with my stomach.
Patty, just think of these little. Johnny, calm down. I know you're over there probably throwing your phone right now. God damn it, that Wade's trying to move in on my house. Yeah, I really hadn't heard Johnny even mention Miss Patty here lately.
I think he's upset because Patty loves us now.
Well, Johnny, don't you know you can't stop a woman's heart? I mean, when the heart's got desire, it's got desires.
Good night, Tommy. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get my ass up off of here too. Well, I've been on here too long. Y'all keep me laughing, and my damn stomach hurts.
Let's try to play this video. Hopefully it works, and then we'll.
Yeah, we got this song we're gonna play for y'all in case y'all ain't heard it. It's a diss track. Gail
Now this is from.
said it's butterflies, and she mentioned you in her middle school love story.
Yeah, I mean. Now, Patty, is that wrong?
I'm a hustler, babe.
Yeah, is that wrong though? Thinking about us as middle school. I mean, come on now. The age of that would put us at 14 at most. That's just wrong. So this song right here is by April T, and I had to tell you, she kind of knocked this one out of the ballpark. April, you surprised me. Wasn't expecting this out of you.
Good night to everybody too. Thank y'all for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in and listening to us, and also, big shout out to Gail for coming in. Like I said, speaking of her expertise, and this is going to surprise everybody, but a shout out to Melinda. Even though she didn't come up on panel, she was in chat answering the questions that were being asked and trying to help explain. So yeah, I think she deserves a shout out too. And so here we go with April T's diss track to the Teen Team. Maybe. Okay, why isn't it playing? Okay, y'all please tell me that if y'all can hear it here in just a few seconds.
Good night,
Okay.
Gail.
So hopefully y'all are starting to hear a little bit of background music.
Looks like, oh, there she goes. I thought it was Rose.
Can you hear it?
Not yet.
Okay, apparently I got something wrong on here then.
Where should I begin on this
There it goes.
track? This will start by saying everything I spit is facts. Facts, a word Gina Bird cannot handle. This reject team is gonna be easy to dismantle. We'll start at the bottom, G, you're used to that. Taking L's constantly and taking it up the ass. Did Judd break your heart? He played you like a flute. Guess that's why you're with the fattest prostitute. G, you're a coward, hiding behind other people. Touch on that cat daddy, you ain't nothing but a weasel. Your brain is a vegetable and you're a little fruity. All those stupid costumes, you like it up the booty. Let's just keep it real, you ain't no fucking leader. Bird runs your channel, a fucking bottom feeder. She's killed your channel, runs it like a governor. Italian, a troll, gangster or a southerner. Back to you later, other shit to address. Like y'all exploit children and people who molest. Who does your team consist of? Let's see, let me think. A goat fucking alcoholic can't live without a drink. Then you got his nephew, Spokesman is his name. The fucker can barely talk, I guess his uncle he became. Then this fat Rob hurts your ears when he speaks. Y'all ripped out your vocal cords, man, this shit's sweet. You do realize, don't you, if this shit was true, you couldn't talk it off, y'all got no IQ. Then there's X-Pops, the glorified cheerleader. Sit the fuck down, you fucking bird feeder. Dana got kicked out, bitch ain't got no sense. With your fake ass notebook and people living in tents. Said you're anti-Semitic, talk about God too. Are you fucking stupid? Jesus was a Jew. And who goes on a date to a concert with a guy, then completely forgets what the fuck he looks like? So I got kicked out too.
The woman who says the N word and allows it from her child. Threatens violence to everyone, me, children, others. Busted in front of her kid, the team of fucked up mothers. Speaking of mothers, hey mama bird, I can't believe I trusted you. What you did truly hurt. See, I'm not stupid, I know the fucking truth. That evil video bird made those kids came from you. Berlin does research, gives it away to the dots. Goes to swingers, furnish y'all, bloodlines to the box. Rebecca trusted you, even said you felt like me. Yet you kissed Bird's ass when you said you ain't GT. Go ahead tonight, I got all the receipts. Acting like my friend, nothing but deceit. Next up is Square, that coward pussy bitch. Dodging countless people and still a fucking snitch. They put you on probation, but they'll never kick you. Because without you Square, they have no fucking views. You act so intelligent, yet too stupid to see. Their buddy trolling you, they ain't your fucking team. Always tell you what to do with your own channel. Are you that desperate to have losers on your panel? You act so big and bad when you have some backup, but run away like a piece of shit makes me crack up. Tracy out on the drunk, disrespected veterans. Y'all are down bad, never been like the Jeffersons. Now to the real leader of the Regent team. Boss Lady Bird, the only fans queen. Y'all say it ain't true, a working verse 5. But I got pics and videos you can't deny. Get put by 2 dudes, one in the back, one in the mouth. 3 nasty cops, bitch, you're a fucking pal. Gave up your child to do math and off yourself. And still doing the same shit, you need to get help. Disrespecting minors and people to see family. Encouraging children to use profanity. Using Jackie O's just to get clicks. Using subs, y'all count no more comes, y'all bunch of scrubs. You call me a beggar, cry baby bitch. Wish death upon me, motherfuckers, y'all ain't shit. I'm a need beggar, yet what I do is business. Cry baby is square. Can I get a witness? Talk about working verse and littles. At least they stand on what they do instead of being hypocrites who won't admit the truth. Yes, they hate me as well, and that's okay. I've admitted all my fuck-ups, that's all I can do or say. See, I don't have to make up shit to come at any of you. Everything I've said is facts, and I've got the proof. So say what you want about me, I know what I stand for. I've raised my child, got a degree, but a positive platform. I hope one day that y'all will take accountability and seek the help y'all need to get some mental stability. Till then, I'll sit back and laugh at all the L's y'all take. Or how'd you like the 4 straight, you fat hooker fake? Bitches, fuck you, GT. All you motherfuckers. Fuck all y'all. And no, I ain't no motherfucking rapper. Sure can't, but I can write. I'm not a rapper like that, but I can write. Fuck all y'all. Every single one of y'all on the Gene team. Comment below what y'all think.
Hell yeah.
So yeah,
It all helps.
shout out to April G. Showers. She put that disc together to diss the whole Gene team. And if y'all will go over there and drop a comment on her video.
Yeah. I mean, y'all gotta admit, I think that was the first time she's ever done that, and she done it on the whole damn team.
She
And
did. She's
hammed up when she done it.
Oh yeah, that was one take. It ain't got no it ain't mastered or anything mixed or nothing. She just wrote it and spit it.
Yeah. Yeah. And cammed up while doing
She
it. I
said,
mean,
Gail said, "What a sweet tribute to her friends."
yeah. So
She
y'all
messaged me
gotta think.
yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
y'all got,
messaged me yesterday early, and she was like, "Man, I'm fixing to write a diss song." I think it was yesterday. She said, "I'm fixing to write a diss song on Gene," and shit, it was just a couple hours later, and she sent it to me.
she's not even a singer, a songwriter, and all that. She came back quicker than Tom. Of course, we're still waiting on Tom, I think. You know, wrote it, cammed up, sung the damn thing, and put it out there. We got the
And
damn fence sitter over there still figuring out what in the hell he wants to do.
And the thing is everything she said is facts. Like it's all true.
Yeah, I mean,
I think she said she messed up on the last couple bars, but she was like, "Whatever, I ain't even gonna redo it." She's like, "I done slaughtered them by the time them bars came. I wasn't redoing it."
yeah, I mean, so far that thing has got 399 views in 2 days. Let's get that thing out there, folks. Any and everybody that's in here that's got a channel, let's share it. Let's get that out there.
Yeah, it's April G Showers.
Yeah, let's. If one of my mods can share her link and let's get it out there. Leave her a comment, hit that like, and if y'all aren't subscribed to her, please do so.
Yeah, just go over there and tell her Seeper and Wade sent you, or just leave her a comment and like whatever. She's a good one. She's got her own struggles she's going with in life.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, I thought it was good for for her not to be a rapper or anything. She slaughtered them.
yeah, that's right now she's got 81 likes. Let's definitely see 100 by the end of the night on that, and I'd like to at least see 500 views, on there, and well, by the end of the night, and hopefully see a lot more on down the week. If everybody can just share it and get it out there and help promote it.
Yeah, I mean, for a little diss track, I mean, she brought it. I mean, like that's a damn. I mean, she
Oh,
brought it to him.
she definitely didn't hold back. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Gene can come back from that.
yeah. And to let y'all know, Miss Gale has put out another video that she dropped almost an hour ago. So when we leave here, let's go over there and show Gail some love.
Yep,
View
yep.
that. It's a 9-minute, 24-second video, so it won't take long for y'all to watch it. And please, please hit that like button over there. If you, I can't think of anybody in here that hadn't subscribed to her channel, but if you hadn't, please do so.
I don't know what's happened. I'm not getting notifications. I never get her notifications. I don't know why.
If it's been a while since you subbed over there, every once in a while you need to go back, go over to the sub button, re-hit that all, just so it'll put her back up to one of the top ones that do that for you. I've noticed I've had to do that here lately. If I've
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
subbed up to a bunch of people since I subbed up to her.
Yeah, I'll try that. All right, well, hell, I'm gonna get off of here. I just want to leave with one public service announcement. Don't throw walks at houses.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. And if I see a wok that has been thrown at my house, if it's not too heavily damaged, I'm gonna put it to use because I like fried rice.
All right, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
Appreciate it, Seeper. Chat, love
All
all y'all. Thanks for riding with us tonight. Hope y'all took the information that we put out there and that we viewed, and hope y'all enjoyed it, It is what it is. Like, we weren't attacking nobody. We're definitely no kids in this. Just so happens that that's what it was about. But yeah, I hope y'all had a great night. So look for a
Love
live
you, Miss Gail.
tomorrow. We're gonna see about Mr. Jerry. So I got to get with him and get with everything, but tomorrow or possibly the next day, depending on schedules. But till then, we'll see y'all then. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah.